Happy Friday! It's Jyn Yates. You're locked on to LRS102.com, and I'm super pumped today because I have Josh Howe, the drummer of the Juicebox Heroes, up in my studio. How are you doing, man?
I'm awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You are awesome. You came in with a I Got Rhythm t-shirt. You got the tats on, the chucks. You're like me in male form.
Exactly.
And you brought tons of dollars.
I did.
For our swear jar, which cracked me up. I mean, literally, he's got like $100 in ones over here.
It was only 50.
Oh, is it 50? It looks like
apparently ATMs will let you kick out ones now.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Who knew? And you said the gas station guy thought you were going to the strip club.
I got very strange looks. He was like, "What are all these ones for?" I was like, "It's a joke. I'm not going to the strip club. It's."
I mean, if you were, there would be no problem, I would think, you know.
Probably run the place.
He goes,
$100 in singles.
I know, $100 in singles. And, you know, I love a stripper. I'm all about a stripper. So I've dated a lot of them in the past.
But again, they were probably,
prime time strippers. Yeah, not
afternoon,
afternoon, 2 o'clock
Thursday
strippers.
afternoon.
Right. You know, that's when the creepies go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Trixie's. Everybody's lining up down 7th Street.
Very clear they're doing it for drug money.
Right, exactly.
I just need $3 more, man.
Yeah. Well, let's start off by saying fuck it. Yeah.
Fuck it.
All right. There's $2. So every time we swear, what we do is we put it in a swear jar. We donate it at the end of the month to charity that helps support Louisville homelessness. So,
right.
Or not support it, but help it. So, it's going to a good cause. You can't get mad at us if we want to cuss.
Exactly.
Which I love. So,
it's for a cause.
Dude, I've been trying to get you in here for a hot minute, and I misscheduled a few things there.
It happens.
Which happens. But I'm so pumped to have you in, and you seem really fun. I love your band. You're one of my favorite bands in town.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I was turned on to you all. I can't remember. I think I was just like looking in the Leo or something, or maybe online, and I saw the name Juicebox Heroes, and I was like, that's the most genius name I've ever seen. And I told Sydney the same thing because I love Sydney, the chick that plays keys and sings in your band too. Yeah. And I was like, man, what a great name. So she invited me out to Gravely.
Oh, cool.
And I came out to your show at Gravely. It was slam packed.
That's a fun venue.
It was a fun venue, yeah. It was slammed, and I kind of just sat in the corner and watched you all. And you were covering Old Town Road, which cracked me up. I was like, badass. Did you know that Billy Ray Cyrus's bandmates are from here in Louisville?
I didn't actually.
Yeah,
know that.
Dave Moody. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know Dave.
Okay, Dave. Dave
played with him?
Dave has toured with Billy Ray for years.
That guy's done everything.
I know. He's the lead singer of Thunderstruck
yeah,
too.
I know that.
Yeah, the AC/DC.
We're friends
band.
on Facebook, but I don't know his whole bio.
Dave Moody I've known for a long time. I used to work at Mom's Music for 12 years, and he called in on our show the first week that I had the show, and he had to run because he was meeting Billy Ray. He was doing a sound check in Nashville with Billy Ray, and he sent me the set list, and it was Old Town Road and all these, it's like Achy Breaky Heart and Old Town Road, and I'm like, this is the most bizarre thing, but I love that song. I mean, it's kind of a guilty pleasure a little bit of mine.
It is.
It's
so hokey, but it's hard not to bob your head to.
Well, and the dude is black and gay. I mean,
who is that? Lil Nas X?
Yeah. I mean, country music was thrown on its head with that one. You know what I mean?
Rap music was a little bit too.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though is I'm in and out of Nashville a lot, and I know that the scene down there is not just country. It gets a rap for country, but there's a really underlying not only a great blues scene, which is along Printer's Alley there, but if you go anywhere underground, you'll see they have a huge hip hop scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that guy Young Buck came from there.
I feel like those things kind of go hand in hand though, because I mean, country is really musically just an extension of blues.
Right. Of course.
And R&B and rap are kind of the same
extension
thing.
of blues,
and an extension the other way.
Right, exactly.
So it makes sense.
I love a good cross mashup of genres. You know what I mean?
I heard a Slipknot Miley Cyrus mashup the other day of like Party in the USA. And it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I have to get my hands on that to play it because that sounds fun.
It popped up on Facebook.
Oh well, I should.
We
should search that out. I know. I probably wouldn't have it if I wasn't like a social media whore,
Only
basically.
reason I have it. Like,
Right. I have it for business.
You'll never know anything personal about me from my Facebook.
Shoot, you'll never not know anything personal about me from my Facebook. I'm like, I put it all out there. I really don't care. I kind of try to keep it PC because now, as I'm getting older, I teach a lot of kids. And now they're all like, can we be on your Snapchat or can we be on your Instagram? And I'm like, oh, God, I got students in there. Yeah. So I have to be careful. Man.
Just do a public-facing one. It's
I know.
cleaner.
I know. Well, I eventually, I maxed out my Facebook like 5 years ago.
I saw that. I tried to send you a friend request, and it was like, she's maxed out. I was like, well, isn't she popular?
Well, I went through the other day and like deleted a bunch because now finally Facebook will tell you who has disbanded their account. And there was like 100 and something that had disbanded, and it was just like I call the
Lucky.
egg. Yeah, that's a Twitter word, but usually when you start out, you don't have your face on there. You just got a blank profile.
Yeah.
So now they put like a little blank outline, like you went to jail.
Are you serious?
Like it's like they
on
did.
Your Facebook?
They do.
That's hilarious.
And so I deleted a bunch because I pretty much know everybody on my stuff. I toured across the world and I met all these awesome people. And throughout the years, it's very frustrating when you're maxed out because I keep meeting all these awesome people like you, and I have to like play Russian roulette is what I call. I go find the dead people, unfortunately, and get rid of them. And now, thank you.
It's fine.
I mean, I hate it, but at the same time, I'm like, I need the space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no offense to the dead or anything like that, but
they'll be fine.
right.
They've moved on.
Right. So how long have you? I don't know anything about you, which I love to interview people who I don't know about, but I can already tell we got really good energy rocket in here.
It's fun.
And we're both drummers, so badassery.
I mean, we are the best.
Yeah, I mean, we are. We're the foundation. We're the heartbeat. We're the backbone.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I feel like if you ever hear any drama, anything like that, it's usually coming from the drummer. So
you
we're
think
more
so?
exciting. not
we're a little
drama
more
within
dramatic,
the band,
right.
but like Tommy Lee's pretty notorious, and
I mean, look at him.
others,
Keith Moon, John Bonham was a drunk. I mean, he choked on his own vomit from drinking vodka. I'm trying to think. There's so many notorious drummers out there. I mean,
pretty much any 80s band.
Yeah, no kidding. And today, currently, I mean, look at Travis Barker. I mean, that dude, he fucking crashed in a plane and he's still rocking.
I saw him. I listened to him on Joe Rogan the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, he almost."
His friend did die.
70% of his body or something.
I know. Good thing he had all those tattoos. You know what I'm saying?
Just cover back up.
I know.
I need some touch up.
Yeah. So welcome to LRS, man.
Thank you.
Are you familiar at all with LRS? I love asking my guests.
I'm familiar with LRS from back in the day. So
yeah, it's the same LRS.
I'm
pretty
older
much.
than I appear.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I remember the LRS bridge.
What are you, like 90?
I'll be 38 in a couple weeks. So
all right, rock and roll.
But I'm old enough to remember the LRS bridge and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, when they put LRS across the bridge there. Yeah, that was so cool.
Giant hanging letters.
Yeah, I wish we could do that again. That'd be awesome.
I think they'd have to pay the light bill.
Probably, which would probably shut down the whole city at this point. Yeah. We also did the homemade records, which we're trying to bring back. So if we do, maybe y'all could be a part of that. Because we're always dope. Back in the day, I've got a couple over here. LRS has been around since 1964. So since the Beatles came to America, we've been here. And of course, I worked for LRS right before they went under. Mm-hmm. Skinny J, who you just met this morning, he is responsible for bringing the station back. He, a bunch of corporate bigwigs bought it out. They wanted us to drop the Walrus name. They wanted all these stipulations, and then eventually they were like, you know what? We don't think we need that.
They probably don't want to play anything good either.
True, yeah, true. Because if you're on a radio dial, you have to abide by FCC regulations, which means they get to tell you what to play.
Right.
They get to fine you if you cuss. They get to do all this stuff, you know. And so now that we're streaming, we're like, we don't have to do any of that. So it's kind of like, that's why I think that's the future of radio. I mean, I don't know about you, but I listen to podcasts most always, or a playlist.
Exclusively, unless I'm listening to music for the band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I do the same thing. I kind of like obsessively listen to music over and over and over again, especially if it's a track that I love.
I'll get stuck on an album.
Yeah.
And so I can go back and like different albums will remind me of different months of a year or whatever, because I just play that nonstop. So I'll play it until I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. Same. And I usually never hate it. That's the thing. I just love all music. I don't even discriminate with genres. I mean, sometimes I'm listening to even complete silence coming home from gigs and stuff, because
I actually do that.
Yeah, me too.
That or classical.
Yeah,
I'll put on
same.
classical
I love
and just,
classical music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of out-of-town gigs, and so, I've got like an hour and a half drive home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, I'll put on literally like a classical mix or just piano or something.
Yeah.
And
It's
just
gorgeous,
kind of
isn't it?
calm down from that, because we're such a party band.
Yeah,
that,
you
like,
are.
I mean, I actually did a thing with my Apple Watch where, like, it'll show you your heartbeat.
Yeah, your heart rate as you're playing.
Mine
I love that.
will go sympathetic with whatever the BPM of the song is.
I love that.
Which is crazy.
What's the highest it's ever been? Do you know?
Well, it tells me like an average, like, because I turn it on in gigs to like for like the workout thing to see how many calories I'm burning and stuff, which is also insane.
Yeah, I would love to know the details of that, like, because I would love to have that watch. I know what you're talking about.
It ranges. I think it says like anywhere between like 78, and then it goes up to like 178. Like,
Yeah,
it goes way up. And
Yeah.
I typically on a given show, on like a 3-hour show, is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 1,800 calories.
Okay, yeah. They say drummers, we burn more calories than a runner within a 30-minute time period.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're not only using your entire body, but you're using your brain too.
Yeah.
Whereas a
Oh,
runner, not necessarily that they're not using their brain, but we're actively thinking, and that actually burns up more energy than anything.
Yeah, I try to teach my students that. I'm like, it's all mental, really, because once you understand it in your brain, then you can understand it in your limbs. It's all about muscle memory. You know what I'm saying?
It's weird though. Like if you think about it in your brain, I almost section it off as, left arm, right arm. Right foot, left foot.
Like you
so like I could
your
close
body
my
in half.
eyes and move my limbs without actually moving my limbs when I'm thinking about a song. So
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily like I can read sheet music.
Yeah.
But like I don't necessarily think about it in sheet music form. I think
Same.
about it. It's almost like a video game.
Yeah, same.
Like I used to tell people Rock Band could technically teach you how to play drums.
Yes.
It wouldn't teach
If
you
it was
technique or
organized the
anything
correct
good.
way.
But as far as just learning the muscle memory of how to use your feet in coordination with both hands,
Right.
it does do that.
Right.
And it shows you what to play. So
Yeah.
it could teach you at least the muscle memory
Absolutely.
of how to do the
It's
drums. 'Cause
really
that's what people struggle with the most is getting their feet and their hands going.
to do stuff. Yeah, and if you think about it, I always try to like section it like this because I've seen books that lay it out like right arm, right foot, left foot, and then they divide it into fourths, and then you're working on. Sometimes you'll work on the left arm and the right foot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or which would be whatever, and then sometimes you'll work on the right arm with the left foot, which is more of your jazzy kind of stuff.
Trying to keep you ambidextrous.
Yeah, and then sometimes you want to work on all four. All four I think is the hardest because you're working 4 limbs instead of 3 or 2.
Just do a disco beat.
Yeah, exactly.
You got all 4.
Yeah.
That
And then-
left foot's going crazy.
And then I'm always like, then learn linear beats. That's one drum at a time because that's really where the crazy comes in. It's like if you study any kind of Tower of Power or any of those like super funk stuff, you'll learn that sometimes linear, which is one drum at a time, is much harder than like 2 hitting at the same time or
so
3
like you're
hitting
talking
at the
about
same
like
time.
if you were doing a boom check with your foot in your hand and then doing
if it's like
the
right foot, left hand,
and,
right foot, left hand,
like doing your hand with
exactly.
the and.
Yes, exactly.
I actually love those beats. So
Me too.
one of my favorite bands is the 1975.
Yeah.
And their drummer does a lot of stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it's an off hi-hat.
Yeah, it's a disco beat is what I call it.
It
I mean,
allows you
technically.
to do hits in between.
Yeah.
If you so choose. But yeah, I like that off beat because
Me
it's real funky
too.
and it leaves space. Like your
It
drum
does.
beat can breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go hard every once in a while, but I like to have air in my beats.
Yeah.
Like, I like
You're like
because
Nick Mason from Pink Floyd. He talks a lot
actually,
about
that's
that.
One of my all-time favorite bands,
Same.
and then
Yeah.
Deftones too.
Yeah, I love the
Their
Deftones.
drummer is just amazing, but he's very, very jazz, which is hilarious because I hate jazz. It
Most
just sounds
drummers
like
are like
noise to me.
jazz.
Like
Right.
unless you're a technical jazz drummer, which I've got a couple friends that are, like like that stuff is pure math. Like that's
It
so
is.
mechanical
It's pure
to me.
math, yeah.
That like I know that they feel it, but I don't feel that at all. Like
Yeah.
it's just a pure.
I've always
struggle to
heard,
play
and
jazz.
it's true because if you look at the early 70s rock and roll drummers like the Ginger Bakers and the Mitch Mitchells from Hendrix and all them,
Yeah.
they were jazz drummers playing rock and roll.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of jazz influence. But I've always heard the saying, you can take a jazz drummer and they can pretty much play anything, but you can take a rock drummer and they cannot play jazz.
No,
because jazz is,
no.
is a true American art form of incredibly hard,
Right.
especially when you get into the progressive stuff. Tony Williams, one of my all-time favorite drummers. He played with Miles Davis. I mean, have you listened to his
Not
Tony Williams
specifically, no.
anniversary record? Dude, do that. Do yourself a favor. It will blow your mind. I mean, it's just him. And it's like, you don't even know where his count one is. You're like, what is he playing? I'm serious.
I think that's almost what frustrates me about that stuff is I just can't straight up follow it. Like, I'm like,
it's brain-wise, you're just lost. Right.
I feel like I'm a beginner again.
I know, same. I know. There's nothing like music to make you feel defeated, right? I mean,
right? Well, actually, so I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do it, and I didn't take drum lessons in school. But I actually used to. So I'm old enough to where if you had a CD player to play to, every time you hit your bass drum, it was skipping. It didn't matter where in the room that thing was. It was skipping because it didn't have the active pickup or whatever it is on it. But so I actually used to put it on LRS on the radio, and so I just had to play to whatever came on. Yeah. You know, there was no rhyme or reason. I didn't get a do-over. I just had to keep playing and going. Yeah. And so it really taught me to listen. But yeah, in the process of learning to play the drums, learning how to hear the drums and the track and break it all down. And jazz still to me is just like, no, not even a try.
I know. I had Todd Hildreth up in here the other day, and I'm trying to think who else. Hyman, Mike Hyman, man. I've just some of the cats that when I listen to their tracks, I'm like, holy crap, like they're really good.
6 arms.
I know, and here's the crazy thing. I was like, what's your drum setup like? And he was like, oh, just a kick snare and a hat. That was it.
Like, is it like a lot of breakbeat stuff?
No, it was jazz.
With
and I'm like,
snare and a hat?
Yes.
No, you gotta at least have a rhyme.
Well, that's what I thought too. But I was like, well, maybe I don't know. I was just fearless. Yeah, you know, I don't know.
You're like, okay, sure,
sure, rock and roll, man. Whatever works for you. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit about the Juice Box Heroes because I'm super pumped. I love that band. First off, do you have any gigs coming up that people should know about?
Yes.
Okay, where?
So we're doing Friday night, next Friday, November 1st, we're doing a Halloween costume party at Goodwood Brewery or Brewing Company in Indiana.
Oh, I love that.
Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
So it's a small room.
Y'all play Indiana a lot.
Well, we're an Indiana band.
Right.
Yeah, 3 of us went to Jeff High and 3 of us went to New Albany. So
I love that.
There's a little inner rivalry.
Oh, I love that. Who's the New Albany?
So Sydney, Dexter, and Josh are the New Albany, and then me and Daniel and Regan are the Jeff High. The
Jeff High, I love that. Yeah, and you last time I talked to Sydney, she was in on the show not too long ago.
Yeah.
Y'all were about to play the big event over at River Stage, I believe. How was that gig?
It was insane.
I bet.
I think I heard Daniel say there were 6,000 people there. I don't know.
I don't doubt it.
When it's that big, like, I mean, I couldn't, from the way the River Stage is, I don't know if you've ever been on it.
Yeah.
But, like, you know how you can't even see the left side if you're back?
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was people until there was a wall, and then I know that it went further. So and they get all on the street.
Hopefully, you didn't have to come out front because those type of gigs, man, you just get bombarded by people. You know what I mean?
You know, actually though, I never do.
Good.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody swarms Daniel and Sydney.
I'm sure.
And you know, of course, they eat.
Yeah, they're the front, so
especially
they're
Daniel.
all.
Daniel loves that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I swear that he doesn't even eat. He just feeds off of the feedback from the crowd.
Well, you know, to be a lead singer, I say you've got to be a little bit. I call it LSD, lead singer disease, because lead singer's disease is you got to be slightly a diva to want to be in front of people like that because you're completely exposed.
Yeah.
And vocally, if you're just doing vocals and not playing anything else, which I think he plays other instruments too.
No.
Right? No, he doesn't.
He does a tambourine every once in a while.
Okay.
But it's so funny. Every time he does it, he looks back at me like his arm is on fire.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't want to hear it.
Use your wrist, dude. Not your arm. That's the key. Yeah. There are certain techniques.
I tried to show him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just...
Man, I have studied under some of the best tambourine players. People who would blow your fucking mind with a tambourine.
It's so crazy what you can actually do with a tambourine.
Yes, I agree. And it's one of the hardest instruments. I say this all the time because if you've ever had to lay a tambourine track down for like 4 minutes long.
Good luck getting it right.
You're exactly like him. You're like, oh my God, my arm's about to fall off.
Yeah.
But there was a lady named Vicki Randall. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she was the first female drummer on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Oh, okay.
She toured with Aretha Franklin, Quincy Jones, backing tracks with Whitney Houston. She just came off a tour singing backups with Mavis Staples. I mean, if that tells you, she knows her shit.
So some small local
slightly,
people.
Yeah, slightly. If you ever listen to Pink Cadillac or Who's Zooming Who, that's Vicki Randall on backing vocals with Aretha Franklin. She's one of the best percussion players I've ever gotten to work with, and I didn't know who she was when I met her. I met her in Michigan. I was the house drummer for Michigan Women's Music Festival for a long time, which meant I got to network with all these awesome players from all over the world. Right. And they would come in and we would learn their music, and then we would have a big show. And and how that rolls is the more gigs you get on, the more you get paid. So I was like trying to get on all these gigs. Vicky Randall, when I met her, I was like, holy shoot, this chick is cool and she's badass and all this stuff, right? And, it's her ding bell. But I didn't know she was. So I go to my tent and I get on the Google, right? And I'm Googling who she is. And I'm like, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Quincy Jones, Lionel Richie. She was on the Dancing in the Ceiling. Yeah. She's met everybody. She knows freaking everybody. And I'm like, holy crap. So I was so nervous to go back to rehearsals with her after that. Because I was playing drum set and she was on like conga.
Because you're automatically judging me.
I know. And of course, we're playing all these old school songs like Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye. And just all this old school like Motown stuff, Donna Summer and Barbara Streisand. Beats that she probably played on originally. No, but she taught me a lot about tambourine playing. And she did this whole tambourine solo that blew my freaking mind. I had never seen people play a tambourine like they played it. You know what I mean?
No, it's nuts. We actually, so my parents' church is here in Louisville, and when I was in high school, a lady from Brazil came in, and I'm pretty sure she's their drummer now. Yeah. But she came in doing percussion, and the things that she did with these drums were just, the sound she was getting out of congas and stuff, I was just like, me and the other drummer were just like blown away. Yeah. We were like, I did not even know you could do that.
Yeah. That was me also when I met Johnny Rabb. I got to take a clinic from Johnny Rabb, who's the drummer of Collective Soul.
Yeah.
And
I love them.
Me too. Me too. And so I sat right next to him and I'm watching stuff that he's doing. I don't know. Have you ever seen him play or do a clinic? Okay, first off, he's really big into like drum and bass and jungle, like electronic stuff. Yeah, but he does it with just a kit, and he taught me how to lay cymbals on the snare drum to get those electronic hand clap sounds, and he does this double kick stuff between his right hand and his right foot on the kick drum.
Oh, yeah, maybe I have seen a video of that because I've seen a guy doing that before.
Well, he pretty much invented that. He was
doing a drum solo,
right?
And then he started doing that, and I was like,
when you're sitting there, when you're sitting there watching some dude like that, and you're like, how in the holy hell is he doing that? Like, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, been playing for 30-something years, and I'm like, I've never seen that.
Why didn't I think to do that?
Same. But I tell you what, I stole it because at that Michigan Women's Music gig, we had to play Sweet Dreams Are Made of These by the Eurythmics. And those are electronic hand claps in that song. And so I was like, I'm going to steal his idea. I laid a hi-hat cymbal on my snare and hit it, and it made the exact perfect sound that I needed. It does. Try it out.
So Dexter and I argue all the time about claps because he likes to do them on his keyboard.
Yeah.
And I scream at him because it's a percussion part.
It is a percussion part, yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to try that out. Yeah, because if I can get Dexter off my back, I've been using a 8-inch mini timbale.
Oh, cool.
With a snare on the underside.
Oh, I love that.
So, but that's more like a pop snare or something.
Yeah, there's also this really cool thing that I have. Actually, I got it from Nick Payne, my soul music brother. He has what looks to be a trash can lid that is upside down. It's actually made by Latin Percussion, so it's a percussion item, but it's upside down and it's got these rain beads in it, and then it has a tuned head on top of it, and it sounds like a hand clap. It's really weird. It's a trashy sound.
Actually, I bet it does because it's going to make them smack.
Yeah, but what I do is I love electronics. So of course I'm an '80s kid. I had I had the original Octagon Simmons when they came out.
God.
I had the first like electronic drum machine that they ever made. The one that only went choom 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 choom. Those things that they still
cheap 808.
It is. It was a Thomas something, and I still have it actually. I don't know why, but I had two of them even. I don't even know why. But what I do is I play my acoustic kit, and then I have a Yamaha DTX head over on my left side that I can program for sounds. Right. It also has MIDI capability, so you can plug in a keyboard to it.
Right.
But then I plug in external pads around my kit so that I can have actual electronic sound. So I can pick from anything from the 808 to the 909 to pretty much any drum machine that I want.
I actually
to trigger
have that
those.
same head, the DTX.
Yeah, DTX, yeah.
So I have that, and I ran it for probably a couple months.
Yeah.
But it just, so we have Rick Day from Scarecrow Productions and his whole crew set up all our stuff for every show.
Love that.
And it was just, my drum kit's kind of a monster anyway.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna talk.
It was like just too much. It was like, you know what? You've got enough drums to basically mimic these sounds.
Right.
The only reason I really wanted it even was for the bass kick.
Oh yeah.
But doing it, if you're playing bars or weddings, sometimes stuff like that, the sound system can't really get the 808 sound louder than my bass drum.
Yeah.
So it never quite worked right, except for really, really big shows.
Yeah.
So we just kind of scratched it. But
well,
I had the same
I'm your
head
electronics go-to because I have played. In fact, this 7 years ago today, I love the Facebook memories because I like to look back and see what synchronicitous stuff is going on.
Thank you, Facebook, for reminding me of all my terrible days.
Same, and the deaths and all that. Yeah, that's never fun. But at the same time, I go back 7 years ago tonight, I was playing Les Mis, and I showed up in the orchestra pit with my electronic machine, and they're like, what are you doing?
I bet they loved you.
I went, I'm playing timpani. And they're like, what? I played timpani because the thing sounds so realistic. I don't need, 7 gigantic kettle drums that I have to fit into a space of just a seat. You know what I mean?
And now the sound samples are so good and the technology is so good that, even cheap ones, like I have an Alesis, bottom of the line, but still with the mesh heads.
Yes, I love
just
those.
so that it feels better. Because, I have that at home.
Yeah.
I just use that to practice because I found out acoustic drums scare the living snot out of my dog. So,
they do. Dogs.
Yeah, he doesn't even like the electrics.
Yeah.
Because I've got him hooked up to studio speakers, so it's still loud. But it's, I can turn it down if it's 1 in the morning and I want to play.
A dog is cool. I used to have a dog that would sit right next to me every time I played drums.
My cat will get on my lap.
That. Yeah. Now I've had cats jump in my bass drum and stuff.
While I'm playing, even with acoustic drums, I've got a photo of him. Me and some buddies were jamming on my acoustic kit, and he's jumped up on the snare because he wanted to attack my brushes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
He does not care at all. The dog is terrified.
Yeah, I used to practice in a band practice space where there were 2 dogs, and both of them were rescues, and they both would just come down and lay right in front of my kick drum, and I'd be wailing away, and I was like, I love these dogs. They're cool, man.
It's weird. He's fine at my shop, so I have a wood shop.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about everything else you do.
Super loud and everything in there, but he doesn't care about that. I think it's really honestly I just never broke him in on an acoustic kit.
Yeah.
And so he just never got used to it. Yeah. And by the time I decided, I was just like, I don't feel like messing with this.
You. I was going to tell you, though, going back to the Yamaha DTX, I use mine for looping and sampling as well. So I will trigger the Humpty Dance, the loop for it.
Cheater.
Cheater, but I play live over top and then rap over top of it while I'm playing. So I'm it's not technically cheating. Plus, everybody says cheating, but good luck trying to program that and good luck trying to loop. Mine doesn't loop automatically. I have to go into my computer, chop it up, take it from that, put it on the machine, program it to loop. So it's a lot more work than people think.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we have the benefit of also having Dexter on keyboards.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He's a crazy stickler for getting the exact sound that the recording is.
Yeah,
so he'll go through and edit the individual voices on the keyboards and stuff, and then save them as
program and stuff,
or whatever.
Man, I played with one of the best keyboardists around here. She's actually She's actually the music director for the Norwegian cruise lines right now, cruising. Cool. She's probably in Japan right now or something. But her name was Angie Hopperton.
Yeah.
And she studied at U of L, and I played with her. She was my main keyboard director for years, and she's the reason I even got into theater because she was. She was the music director for all these theater productions and stuff like that around town, as well as churches, and she literally does everything. But she's like a little Mozart, She's a brilliant mind when it comes to electronics and programming and sequencing. And, I would spend a lot of time with her. And between her and me, we could recreate almost any track that we could. If you could get us a track, we could recreate the sounds of anything.
That's awesome.
And I spent a lot of time with her. And most everybody in town really respects her.
Yeah.
But she just literally, congratulations to her, man.
Yeah,
she
good job.
got the music director position on the Norwegian cruise lines, and she's been been to Shanghai and
I was gonna say that's a fun
Greece
gig.
and Italy and except for you. She says that you barely even get to get off the boat. So like she's literally working nonstop. She was like, I might get to look out the little window at Italy,
on G deck,
right?
Like half the time your window's underwater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she's a really cool chick. If you ever get to meet her, we had a band called Ma'am Overboard, and
how appropriate.
It was very appropriate. I know. Yeah, and it totally went overboard there toward the end about last year. We went under, but we were kind of like
it
you
happens.
all. We were the all-female party band around town, and we played the Levee and Kingfish and all the Stevie Ray's and all the gay venues.
It's all the fun places.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And we would slam pack it like every weekend. So that was one of my favorite bands to ever get to play in. And we lost our bass player recently. Just a couple months ago, she got killed over in Indiana. So everybody was kind of like, the band had just disbanded, and it was like a really tough loss for everybody because she was like the bass player for like 3 or 4 different bands around town.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've had to experience that yet, but it is not fun.
I've lost a couple friends, but
Any you've played with? Because you spare it's a different type of relationship when you're in a band.
It's a lot more intimate.
It's very intimate.
And much more like siblings.
It is like siblings, or I like to say it's like when I was in the girl bands, because I've been in a lot of like all female bands.
Right.
I've been in guy bands too, or I've been in a lot of bands where I was the only female.
Right.
But there's something really special about playing with all women, and I always loved the angelic harmonies that you could get from the female voices blending together. And we had 4-part harmonies, and
it's a lot smoother.
It was.
Unless
you're
really Michael
smooth.
Bublé or something.
Right, yeah.
I always call him the wrong name.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Bubbly. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. There was just something special about being in a band with all chicks.
There's a certain camaraderie with that.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like you're in a relationship with 4 women without the sex. So it's very difficult.
Honestly, it sounds like a nightmare.
It kind of was. It ended in a nightmare, that's for sure. But, I still love and respect them today, and they're all great players.
Right.
And, and I follow them wherever they go because I know that they're top-notch musicians, and we spent a lot of time on the road, like, just sharing cool things together. So it was a good time. Anyway, I want to ask you about your equipment because I'm a gearhead myself. So what do you play equipment-wise?
Okay, so...
Your main kit. I'm sure you've got more than one.
I actually only have 2.
Okay.
And I only have 2 because I just haven't gotten rid of my last kit since buying this one.
Okay.
I've never been a big kit collector.
Yeah.
Just because, that takes up a ton of space.
It does. Wait till I show you my dad's drumatorium.
Yeah, exactly.
His living room is a drumatorium. You cannot walk through.
Yeah, and it's all sharp. You trip in the night on a drum set. It's not like tripping on the coffee table.
There's no walking through it without lights for sure.
So gear, I have a Sake drums.
Okay, love those.
6-piece red sparkle kit. And the shells are mahogany and cherry ply.
Ooh.
So like the insides of the drums are cherry.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Ooh,
it's like
I love
deep
that.
red.
I would love to hear that. I probably have. Is that probably the kit you were playing when I saw you?
Probably.
Yeah,
if it's been
that
in the
kit
last
sounded
year,
good.
it was that kit.
Yeah.
It's got great tone, and it keeps its tone really well. I do Remo. I always get Ambassador and Emperor mixed up. Whichever one's the double ply coated.
Emperor.
I think it's the Emperor.
Yeah, the Ambassador is the thinner ply.
Yeah, I don't like that. So I do the Emperors, but I'm not a hard hitter.
Yeah.
Like, my heads have been on there since I got the kit in December of last year, and they don't have any dents.
I
They've
rarely
got scratches
change
and
heads.
stuff, but no dents.
Yeah, same. I'm the exact same way.
And they don't really lose their tune, and we do a lot of, indoor, outdoor flips.
Yeah.
Weekend to weekend. It's, it's anybody's guess.
Well, I was just telling the guy tonight that I'm playing at the venue. I was like, we're playing inside because,
Thank God.
Not only that, but the guitars go out of tune all the time.
Oh, right.
I don't like to be cold when I play.
I don't concern myself with the guitars.
Yeah.
They're on their own.
Yeah, guitars do their own thing. Guitars are interesting, aren't they? They're interesting. It's so funny how you can go through a band and be like, drummers are this way, and then singers are that way, and guitarists are way on their own over here, like on another planet.
Right.
Usually.
And I feel like bass players are kind of in that realm too, where they're like, it's anybody's guess what you're going to get with a bass player.
Yes, exactly.
Our bass player Josh, he he jumps everywhere. Like, he's all over the stage.
Yeah.
He goes out in the crowd half the time.
I saw that. Is
hilarious.
he on a wireless?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I'm pretty sure at this point everybody is.
Okay. So y'all can, you're very like visual, which I actually love. I think that's very well needed in bands today because we are a visual society. We like to see things. So
we're very about the performance. Because that's a lot of what is going to separate you from just somebody playing songs you know.
Well, you're entertainers, after all.
Everybody comes from theater on some level. Like, I wasn't a performer, but I did the technical aspect of it. But, so we're all performers on top of being a musician. I think a lot of people get hung up on the musician part, which, I mean, obviously, if you don't have that, you have nothing.
Right.
But you need to also do the performance. Like,
there's a lot that goes into it.
We coordinate our clothes and all kinds of
That's perfect.
Silly stuff,
Yeah. So do we.
Yeah,
I just asked Nick a while ago, what are you wearing tonight?
Like, every time we look at pictures from the band, when they first started, it's just so funny. Like, they all look very young, obviously, because it was almost 10 years ago.
Right.
But they also look young because, they're wearing like cargo shorts and like a Ninja Turtles t-shirt or something. Like, it's just, now we're solid colors, no logos. It's just, it's a much more cleaned up look.
You just made me flash back in high school. They made fun of my calf muscles because I had huge calves.
Beastly.
Well, I did, but I was
Did you do marching band?
I did marching band, yes, but that's not how I got the calves.
Oh, really?
No, because I was in the pit, so I didn't technically march until parades. But no, I got them I was a softball player my whole life, and I was a catcher.
Oh,
so I was squatting nonstop. Yep, and then I was in martial arts for 16 years. I got my first degree black belt in Shaolin.
Oh, nice.
And then of course I've always played drums. I've played drums for 39 years now, so I'm like, I'm way into.
It's that front calf muscle,
dude. It is, and you know what?
When I was big.
When I was in high school, they'd call me Leonardo, and I was like, why? I didn't wear shorts for years, dude. I'm not lying, and now my legs are like my favorite part of my body.
Kids are cruel.
They are
and
cruel.
Stupid because.
They're like, you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
legs.
You're right. I know. I was like, whatever.
What?
I know. I had a concept about it for a minute. You know, I literally didn't wear shorts for a long time because of that. And then I learned to love my body and was like, I love my legs. Screw y'all. Y'all are stupid.
I had to get used to my legs because I started wearing kilts.
I love that. I love a kilt.
I was like, man, I have chicken legs. I don't care. It's so much more comfortable.
Yeah, my girl Bev loved a kilt, man. They're
awesome.
Yeah, they are cool.
So
do you like free ball when you wear your kilt?
No, I don't.
Sorry, I had to ask.
So my business partner is the one. He wears kilts for every day.
You're supposed to.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, it could be 10 degrees outside. That dude's in a kilt.
I'm sure.
But he does it. But he said he was telling me that it's one of those things where you never really intentionally do it.
Yeah.
You just walk out of the house one day and realize like,
it's cold.
I'm not wearing underwear. And then he's like, and it was so much more comfortable. So I'm like, I work in a wood shop. There's sawdust flying everywhere. I'd prefer, a layer at least.
I'm not a big fan of underwear. I'm just going to put that out there. I love Commando straight up.
It really depends on the weather and the event.
Yeah, good point.
I don't ever do it at shows.
Sorry to get you off on that tangent, but it's kind of funny.
It happens.
Dude,
I'll
Josh,
talk about anything.
I know. I love it. You're great for radio, man. By the way, we're going to give away 4 tickets to the Baxter Avenue Morgue tonight.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I could go.
I know. Well, I did go. I went last Sunday, and it was, of course, first off, I had the Baxter Avenue Morgue people up in the station. So they were telling me all about it, and they gave me the tickets, and then they're like, let us know when you get there.
Of course, let us know. We're going to send everybody after you.
Exactly right. So I get there, and I'm like, hey, Sarah, tell them Jen's here with LRS, and we're getting ready to go through, and they're like, all right, can't wait.
Get her.
At some point, my glasses almost got broke. My hat was snatched off my head.
Can they touch you there?
Yes, they can. They can.
I'm not a fan of those.
Well, I know I said the same thing, but okay, I've been to pretty much all of them in Louisville. Or outside of Louisville too. The haunted hotel, they don't play. They will like grab your throat and throw you against a wall.
Now,
like
somebody grabs my throat and throws me against the wall.
What
They're
said.
Getting punched right in the face.
Same, or kneed in the balls, dude.
Something's happening to them that they're not gonna.
My theory is if you can't breathe, you can't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? So no, but they do it. They're a little bit more relaxed with it. Yeah. They're like, they might lightly brush up against you or snatch a hat. They'll give it back to you at the end of the night. But yeah. I will say though, they've got more than one chainsaw dude there.
See, the chainsaws have never scared me because I know for a fact there's not a chain on
right,
that thing.
because you can't legally
do it. It might startle you from the noise, but that's as much as you're going to get me.
The gas smell, yeah.
As soon as I hear that thing in the distance, I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of women being scared right now.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out exactly how we're going to give these away, but maybe we'll have somebody like hit you up or hit me up on our social media and, and say a certain word. And if that's the case, then they can come pick up their tickets here at the station.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now, you also do a lot of cool stuff outside of drumming, right?
I do.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about that, because every time I'm trying to book you, you're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Sorry,
and
I'm in Chicago.
This and I'm doing right. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing? What do you do?
It's all over the place.
Let's talk about that.
A friend of mine, Jeff McLeod, we started a company called Twisted Scenic a little over a year ago. He started it and then I joined in. And what we do is we build sets and set pieces and things like that for theater, film, TV, commercials, whatever. Mm-hmm. And
so you're a carpenter, per se.
Pretty much.
You're kind of like Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So we do a lot of Christmas stuff. And so, it's always, we're doing it for JC's birthday.
Yeah, of course, man.
But that's anytime something goes bad. We're like, JC, we're doing this for you, man. What's going on?
Which I was going to be like, which was not technically Christmas, but that's cool.
Yeah, I think it was like June.
It was in June. Yeah, it was like basically when Constantine took over, he changed the pagan years to the Christian years because he was not a big believer. Therefore, they have the pagan, the spring festival and the fall festival turned into Jesus's birthday and
death
date. Yes.
Well, yeah, because I think it was so they figured out that whenever the Romans did the census, because they had to go to Bethlehem for the census,
right?
So whenever they did the census, they looked back in the records or whatever, and that was in June,
right?
And then the reason it got kicked to December was because when the Romans were trying to introduce Christianity to like the Germanic tribes and stuff, they all did Saturnalia, which is like the winter solstice, which is the 21st.
The pagan stuff, yeah.
So to bring those people in, they just locked them together.
Yeah.
That's why we have Christmas trees.
I know.
Because the winter solstice,
which is a pagan
evergreens
tradition.
Were the only thing that were alive, so they decorate them with candles and
stuff.
Right.
And the Yuletide and all that.
It's amazing how much other pagan religions and everything else is wrapped up into what we currently call Christianity.
Yeah, sure is. We've been told a lot of interesting stuff throughout the years about our history.
I think the entire story is also repeated like 4,000 years earlier by the Sumerians.
Probably. I don't doubt it. It's so fascinating to me. I'm just like, what?
Told over and over and over.
Nothing makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. No, offense to Christians or anything like that. But yeah. I respect everybody.
I grew up Christian.
Same. I've been baptized in the holy water. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think pretty much anybody living in this area has.
Yeah. I sang in the church choir and all that good stuff.
So we went to Walnut Street Baptist. My parents still do, and sister. And they used to do the huge Christmas special every year for Christmas, and so I grew up doing that. So we'd be singing and dancing in tuxedos.
I was going to say, you make a great Jesus. You actually kind of look like the white version of Jesus.
I didn't then. I was very baby faced. I think I didn't even get like a goatee until I was like 23.
The last musical I did was Godspell, which I love the story of Godspell.
I was oh man, who was I in that? Peter, maybe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we did
What
Godspell
a great
at
musical.
church.
I love Jesus Christ Superstar, but Godspell is by far, I think, musically
So Superstar was what broke me into musical theater.
Cool.
I got asked by my friend Ronnie Breedlove to do it for Jeff Howe when they were doing it. And
super rad, man.
I didn't read at the time. So I don't know if you've ever seen that book.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I read super fluently.
It's like a college thick book. Mm-hmm. I memorized the entire thing in 2 weeks.
Dang, that's crazy.
And used the front page of it with like the song list as a playlist.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
it's
super
this
cool.
song. It was a nightmare.
I've actually done a few things with Jeff Howe. I did Footloose for Jeff Howe, which was really fun. But it's weird because the band was down underneath the stage. So like we couldn't
in the
see.
pit thing?
Yeah, we were in the pit. I couldn't see anything that was going on upstage. No, they didn't have a TV. I just had my conductor, Angie, the one I was telling you about. I just had my music conductor.
Did she have her head popped up above the stage?
Exactly. Yeah, it was weird. Now, when I did the Louisville Ballet, I did Ballantine with the Louisville Ballet. We were underneath it was a Kentucky Center for the Arts. We were underneath with like a 70-piece orchestra, and we had televisions with the conductor.
Oh, were you in like Whitney?
I
Was it the big one?
It may have, it was the big one for sure. But either way, I was kind of mortified. I was like, oh, we can't see anything what's going on, but I wanted to watch the show.
You need to see your page.
Yeah, exactly.
me and Gail have done a lot of shows together. You just had her on.
Dude, I love Gail King.
I love
her. I did Rent with her.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
I did Rent twice, and that was the second time I did it with her.
She and I are almost always like she can see, but I'm almost always like tucked behind a curtain or something like that. I never get to see the action.
The drummer
man.
always is
always
in the back. I know, we're always shafted. We're always in the back somewhere or in a corner.
Well, and I'm in a band with 5 people, so they're always in front of me.
Exactly.
It's just like,
dude, I was going to tell you one of my most disastrous gigs. I will ask you this question too, so be thinking of it.
I already know.
All right, you already know what it is. Well, can I tell you mine real quick?
Yeah.
Because you just reminded me of it because you said you were encased in people. I was in a 7-piece all-female band with the whole horn section and everything, right?
Yeah.
So we had we were supposed to play Glassworks, which is here downtown.
It's a cool venue.
Yes, and used to back in the day you could play outside on top of it, overlooking all of Louisville.
I always wish I could do that.
So we had a gig that night. All of it was the band's name was She Groove. Yeah, I know, not to be confused.
What did V Groove have to say about that?
We actually played dual gigs with them, and they were like,
that's
She
hilarious.
Groove and V Groove. Hey. They were all dudes, we're all chicks. It was kind of cool. But anyway, we were supposed to play outside, and we were supposed to have aerialists, and they were gonna set up outside and like swing and do all this like hanging from things.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, it was while we were playing, right?
Yeah.
So that day it's like super like thunderstorm outside. It's pouring down rain. They're like, we're gonna have to move the gig to inside. So I'm inside setting up my drums, and they've got the riggers down there like looking at the ceilings, and they're drilling holes in the ceilings for the aerialists. And I was like, is that safe? I even walked over to them at one point and was like, are you sure that's gonna hold like a girl?
Oh God.
And they're like, oh yeah, we're pros, we do this all the time, whatever, right? So I'm like, all right. So all these people show up for this gig, and we're inside and we're playing all this music, and the gig's going great, and it's awesome, and there's chicks swinging from things and hanging half naked upside down and all this. Well, I can't see anything. I'm encased with 6 chicks in front of me, right? So I'm just playing, and then all of a sudden they turn around and they're like, stop playing, with horror in their eyes. And I'm like, what's going on? I was like, because it's the middle of the song. Yeah, I was like, okay. So I just stop, and everybody has this like look of horror on their face. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And they're like, some chick that was hanging, right? Mm-hmm. She was hanging completely upside down, 6 foot from the ground, and the rigging comes out, and she dropped right on her head, and her neck twitched, and she just laid there, like still, like she was paralyzed. So we're all like, oh my God, what's going on, Next thing I know, they're calling ambulances and paramedics arriving and all this stuff, and we still had like 45 minutes to finish playing. So the band's like, what do we do? What do we do? Nobody knows what to do because now it's all awkward and it's weird and the energy's sucked out of the room. And my lead singer, I'll never forget. By the way, the girl ended up being okay. She did not paralyze herself. So now I can tell this story because of that.
It's funny
reason.
now.
It's funny now. It was not funny then.
Right.
She turned around and I was like, what are we playing? She was like, let's end it on let's do one song and we'll end it on a pretty note. Let's do Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. And I was like, perfect. That's a beautiful song. Blah, blah, blah. So we're playing it. She's singing it. She's turning to me and she's like, if I fall, I will catch. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting time after time. I was like, probably not the best song to fucking pick. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my most disastrous gigs ever.
Oh, now, but that's not necessarily a disaster on you, though.
Dude, well, I've had some pretty disastrous ones.
I'm talking like train wrecks. So
okay.
We actually haven't. I can't think of a bad gig that we've had with the Juicebox Heroes. But we also, even though we're a party band, our shows are fairly tame. Like we don't cuss or anything like that.
That's cool.
Because
I've been in bands.
There
like
might be kids there half the time, so you don't know.
Our rule was always if it's 21 and up, then it's okay in moderation. But if it's under 21, obviously you change the words.
We discussed that, and it just became a thing where it was like, you know what? You might forget. You might get used to singing a song a certain way, like the CeeLo Green song. Yeah.
Oh,
Forget
fuck you.
Yeah.
Actually,
fuck you. Yeah.
Actually, She Groove covered that one. It's one of my favorite songs to play ever. But we switched it, and it depended on. But we did like Lincoln Elementary for like their lunches and stuff. So
now imagine if you accidentally said "fuck you" to a bunch of elementary kids.
Then dude, we're like dope in that.
I brought a stack.
Yeah,
it's for a charity.
Right on. Not strippers.
But So worst show I ever did was not even a show of mine.
Okay.
I was in St. Louis for a job, and this was, oh God, probably 12 years ago at this point.
Okay.
And it was my birthday. We were doing a job for some Budweiser things, and a bunch of the corporate people found out it was my birthday, so they took me out to a bar.
Okay.
There was a house band there, and it was actually, I think it was called Girls Night Out, and it was an all-female band.
Okay.
And they were awesome. Like, they were really good, killing it. And these people were dumping drinks down me, which is crazy because I don't really drink. Like,
right.
Almost never.
I don't drink when I play. I try not to a whole lot.
My stomach doesn't like it. But so I'm like, I've like puked and rallied like twice at this point, and I come back out of the bathroom, and one of these Budweiser corporate guys is like, "Hey, get up there. We talked to the band. They're gonna let you play a song with them because it's your birthday." And I'm like, No, please don't do this to me. There's no way. I can't even see straight. There's no way I'm sitting down in a drum kit. And again, this was 12 years ago. I was much less practiced than I am now. Now I might go for it just because I've got a little bit of confidence. But back then I was like, I was in an original band. I was not like some showy drummer or anything. I didn't want anything to do with it, and they made me. And I get up there, and they're like, they immediately start into Blister in the Sun. Mm-hmm. That's a hard, fast song.
I used to play that with Beverly McClellan.
And it's super repetitive. It is. So, like, you get kind of twisted. Well, and if you're playing it right, you're either doing, like, 30 seconds?
Yeah, it's fast.
You're either doing it on the hi-hat or you're doing it like a two-step on the snare, which I think he flips back and forth on the recording between the two. But, like, it's fast either way. Mm-hmm. And if you're drunk in the room spinning, it's really fast. And if you're playing with people you've never played with, it's even more fast and uncomfortable. And so I train wrecked this song. I got through, like, the verse and, like, midway through the first chorus, and I stopped. I was like, guys, I thank you so much for this, but I cannot do this. Like, I can't function. And they were like, well, do a drum solo. And I did some like half-ass drum solo for like 10 seconds, and I was like, all right, fuck this, I'm out. I can't do it. It was just
I've had a few of those.
That's actually probably to this day why I don't drink at gigs. It gave me a stigma, like, okay, you cannot play the drums on alcohol.
Right.
It's all motor
hard.
skills.
You're okay until you stand up. I've fallen over my drum set a few times. I will say this. I was a drunk through most of my 20s and 30s, and about 35, once I got hired for a tour, a professional tour across the United States, I was like, no more. Because I signed a contract.
Well, it's work at that point.
It was work at that point. Right. Job. We were playing like 7-9 shows a week. Right. You know what I mean? I think I did 170 shows in 9 months. So that's a lot of shows. Yeah. But I was going to say, I grew up playing since I was 13, and the people didn't know how young I was, and I had women coming up while I was playing,
giving you drinks,
force feeding me bourbon shots. I mean, nonstop. They didn't know I was 13.
They thought you were 18.
I'm wasted, and I'm 13 years old, and I've got to ride home with people and parents and everything else.
That's just a testament to how good you were at the time.
Well, I don't
like,
know.
She must be an adult. Right. She's killing it.
Well, but I was gonna say I've had many disastrous gigs where like my snare drum was moving. The biggest one probably was at the Connection here in Louisville. I was playing on stage with Hurricane Summers and Asia and all these drag queens with the all-female band called The Confessional, and I was supposed to come out and rap Pussy Control, which I always do.
Is pussy a cuss word?
I don't know.
I don't think it's a cuss word.
I think it shouldn't be because I love it. I don't know.
Is dick? I mean,
I don't know. I think nothing is a cuss word here is my theory. But I will ring the bell for charity. We'll ring it twice. All right. But yeah, I was supposed to come out and do that. Well, I was so nervous at that gig. My problem was I drank when I got nervous because I have an anxiety disorder. So I'm like, once I start to get nervous, I'm like, oh my God, give me a drink. Well, yeah, I did that too. The problem was I did everything. You know what I'm saying? You
got to pick one.
Right. Yeah, you do have to pick one. Don't drink and smoke and then go play.
That's going to go bad for you.
My theory back then was whatever the drummer's on, the bass player had to be on too, because
you got to be in the same mindset.
You can't be like upper and downer playing a song. It's just not going to work energy-wise. Right, exactly. So
if one does shrooms, the other does shrooms.
Yeah, and we're talking about, had you ever seen The Connection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a huge stage.
In the auditorium?
Oh, yeah.
That's a cool room,
too.
Oh,
yeah, and the stage is like 6 foot tall, right? So you're talking about you're up, and there's a platform where people can walk out. It was slam packed. It was an AIDS benefit. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, I had what I thought was 3 shots. Well, I knew all the bartenders, so they're like hooking them up.
Double shot.
By the time I got on stage, I probably had at least 9 or 10 shots rolling through me. I remember my snare drum moving, and then I'm supposed to come out and rap this song, and it's supposed to be the big ender.
Oh, so it wasn't actually moving? It was just moving in your eyes?
Really, it was moving in my eyes.
That's even
it was
worse
moving
almost.
circular, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, And then we were supposed to do this song, and then Pussy, we did Pussy Control. This was the end of the night. And then Hurricane Summers was coming out to do Show Me Your Pussy, that song. What's that song? Lords of Acid. We're going to do Lords of Acid, the Pussy song. Yeah. So I see Hurricane over to the side, and I'm rapping my song, and I am so blitzed. Somebody hands me a Jaeger bomb shot while I'm on stage, which I take. I accidentally slip and pour it all over me, and the stage is wood.
That's probably better.
I literally fell like 3 times hard. I mean, from straight up to like boom on the floor, and it didn't miss a lyric because it was videotaped, by the way. So
of course
I got to go back the next day and watch it. Yeah, and so I go down to the edge of the stage, and everybody's like hands up, you know, I go down to the edge of the stage, and I grab this girl's head, and I put it in my crotch, and I fell off the stage on top of her. She was like on her back on the ground. I'm on top of her with the mic. I broke her collarbone that night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, didn't know it.
That takes the cake for sure.
No, I crawl up the stairs. It didn't end there. I crawl up the stairs, still rapping Pussy Control, and I'm rapping the same lyric over and over.
Oh no!
Even so, you can see the horror in my bandmates' faces. They're like,
"She's
oh
off
my
the
God,
rails.
how we gonna rein this in?" They didn't know. So I crawl across the stage, Madonna style, in front of thousands of gay people at an AIDS benefit, and I walk over, and Hurricane's coming out, and she's like, "Girl, you need to get your shit together," and I crawl right into her crotch, and what does she do? Drop her pants.
Oh,
and that's when all the pictures were taken that hit Facebook, and they're like,
"That's hilarious."
It was hilarious. It's hilarious now. It sure wasn't the next day.
It was embarrassing.
I didn't remember any of it, right? And then everybody after the show was like rolling. They were like, "Oh my God, did you do that on purpose?" And I'm like, "No, I'm hammered." You know.
Technically, that's true either way.
Yeah, everybody was like, "That was the best show. I laughed so hard." And I'm like, "I'm sure you did, but I did not." I'm still apologizing to the gay community about that.
Right.
That was in my 20s, so I was like, if ever I had a rock star like drunken moment, that was it. You know what I mean?
Right,
and I wasn't even on drums, which was funny. I was singing or rapping.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but dude, after that, they were like, "Yeah, let's not do that last song." We finished the gig like that.
No kidding. You're like, let's just be done.
It started great. It ended disaster. I mean, everybody else thought it was funny, but I did not think it was funny after I watched it back and then was like...
Not if that's not your goal.
Yeah. So then in 2014, when the chick picks me up to go on tour, she saw that video.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And she goes, "Hey, I have to have a talk with you." And I'm like, "You sure?" And she goes, "Yeah, this can't happen.
Ever."
So here's a contract. You can't drink at all, ever, if you're out with me.
Sign a contract.
Yeah. I mean, she was pretty straight-laced, which I needed that at the time. I kind of needed something to, like, smack me in the face and be like, "Here's your dream job, but guess what? You have to quit drinking if you want it."
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, honestly, again,
it's better now.
It's your job.
Right. It is my job. Yeah. After that, I started taking it very seriously.
Just because you like to drink doesn't mean you can do it at your job.
Right.
You know? I mean,
correct.
My mom's a teacher. She can't go drink it at school.
Correct.
I'm sure some days she would like to, but, you know, she can't. You know?
Right.
It's just, we all very much view it as work, and we have as much fun as we can.
Yeah.
But, you know, with the amounts of money you're being paid and stuff, I mean, I feel like a lot of musicians cut loose and just have a fun time.
Yeah.
And that's great if that's where you want to land. But if you're really trying to, like, do
take
it for a
seriously.
living,
right?
I would
I've
venture
done
to guess if you asked musicians, they might have a beer or something that they're drinking on at the show, but nobody who's really trying to do anything gets hammered.
Right. After that, it was Kelly Ritchie didn't drink. Beverly McClellan never drank. She didn't do anything except smoke.
Right.
And Julie Wolfe, who, you know, ended up taking me to L.A., didn't drink.
Yeah.
You know, there. And then in theater, I did a lot of theater. You don't drink in theater.
It's a motor skills thing. You know, it's not even the fact that, like, you're messed up. Like, I don't know that anybody, especially in, like, the music industry, would care about that so much. But because it's...
Isn't it funny how the music industry has changed over years? You know, in the 70s, you would never find a musician who didn't drink on stage. Probably.
Yeah, but I feel like they're also doing... I don't want to say less technical things, but the equipment and everything was less technical. Like, it's less stuff to mess with in the 60s.
Right.
You know, unless you're a Jimi Hendrix or somebody who's really innovating what your instrument can do.
Right.
You know, it's pretty simple, and I think a lot of it today is, you know, just the equipment itself is so complicated, and the music is much more complicated.
Yes,
you know, we run into that all the time where there's layers and stuff all over top, and you got to figure out how to make it work. And
do you all cover any 80s
jam band kind of
80s
stuff?
music?
Oh my God, we cover everything.
I was going to say the 80s is the hardest because that's when electronics really started coming in the forefront, and the pitch wheels and the bendy things and
bastards.
You know, if you listen to Push It, it's like, if you're a keyboardist, you're going to be like, oh, what is that? You know, because in hip hop they really, and not only hip hop but pop music at the same time, rock and roll at the same time. I mean, how many bands have you heard cover Aha, you know, Take On Me? Or how many bands? Do you really? I love that. I think I heard y'all do that. But there's a lot of songs that are incredibly hard to cover in the 80s because of all the electronics and the weird, like you were saying, your keyboardist has to find the exact patch for that sound.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things that go on concerning that that's incredibly hard to do.
Because the same thing, the electronics were newer then.
Right.
And so everybody was experimenting, like, what can these actually do?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing with people using samples and stuff now and doing loops and live loops and stuff like that. That's the new innovation.
Yep.
You know, is wow, I can create a 20-person band in 5 minutes in front of you.
Yeah, with a pedal.
Laptop,
and a pedal. Yeah. I remember we were doing last Christmas. I played this show at Headliners, and it was with Ray Rizzo and all these like amazing people. And we were doing the Whitney Houston. Is it I Want to Dance with Somebody? I don't think it may have been I Want to Dance with Somebody, but I think it was another one. Maybe How Will I Know or something like that. But either way, it was like there were all these weird sounds going on in it. You know, she's got the 808s and the 909 cowbells and all these like weird sounds.
Oh, right.
So we had to technically go find those sounds because if you're trying to play it without those, it doesn't sound anything like, you know, her actual version. We were trying to be exact to the
We've actually had to kill out a couple songs because we just could not, you know, we were, because we vote on our songs.
Yeah.
We rehearse every Tuesday. Which is,
I love that.
I feel like it's weird for bands to rehearse, but like we just,
it's not. It's just part of my girl band, we used to rehearse religiously once a week.
Whenever we talk about rehearsing once a week, everybody's like, "What? You guys actually rehearse? We just show up at the gig and play." I'm like, no.
Yeah, no. I don't. You know, I can do that, and certain.
As a drummer, it's easier.
That. Yeah,
it's a lot easier as a drummer because you don't have to worry about keys. You don't have to. Yeah, right. It's just, can you follow where you feel like this music is going? And I grew up playing in church. So, and I'm self-taught. So, like, I learned how to follow music.
Right.
And I've actually, I was talking to Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, I love Ryan.
And he was saying that
we
one
worked
of the things
together for years.
He noticed about my drumming and that he liked about my drumming was I tend to hang on the back side of the beat.
Yeah, the pocket.
Which makes it a little funkier sounding on pretty much everything. Yeah. It's not off, but it's just back. Like a split second behind. It just makes it have much more of a groove feel. But that started because that split second, as you know, that's the difference between if I'm going to stop this song or if I'm going to keep playing or if I'm going to transition to the chorus or whatever it is.
Right.
If you wait just that split second, you can see what's going to happen if you don't already know or have a feeling or whatever. But so, yeah, that's... I like playing ad-libbing. Every once in a while, they'll throw a song at me that they haven't played in forever or whatever that I never rehearsed with the band. Yeah. So, like, they'll just throw it at me. And I actually love those moments because I'm like, cool, well, technically I can't play this wrong because I don't know the song. Right. So I'm just going to play what I feel like playing.
Yep, same. Well, as a drummer, we're an accompaniment instrument. We're not a lead instrument.
Right.
You're probably not going to see a drummer out there playing by themselves unless they're busking on a
not unless it's Phil Collins.
Right. No, who I saw a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, he was just here.
Oh, man, he was awesome.
Sure. Did he get on the kit?
No, he can't play drums anymore. He's he can't do it. But his 18-year-old son was on drums.
Oh, wow. Must be nice to slide into a gig like that.
Yeah, he did. No shit, right?
I was like, Phil Collins.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this kid's learned from everybody amazing. I mean, Chester, is it Chester, the famous drummer, I've lost his name, Chester Parker? who used to be Phil's main drummer for years. I'm like, dude,
I'm terrible with names.
I know, same.
I'm so awful with names.
Yeah.
Like my favorite drummer of all time is the drummer for the Deftones. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I've looked it up multiple times. Yeah. I for whatever reason I do not remember his name, but he's my favorite
I don't know
drummer.
it either. Ain't gonna lie.
He and Morgan Rose from Seven Dust.
I love Morgan Rose, yeah.
And
by the way, speaking of Seven Dust, they just announced they're going to do a new record, which I was kind of shocked about.
Well, they've actually been putting out, like, I feel like Animosity might have been their last, like, big one.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is because they don't really get much radio play anymore. Because, like, you know, like we were talking about earlier with LRS, like, not a lot of radio stations play, like, the heavier stuff. I will say, if you go up north, like Chicago area, there's a lot of metal stations.
Oh,
like
I bet.
there's a station up there that plays like nothing but like Tool and stuff like that, and it's just crazy to hear on the radio. But like I think a lot of it is they just don't really get radio play anymore because they don't really write radio friendly songs.
Right. Well, you know, I think that's another reason why we love not being on a radio dial and streaming, because we have the whole new Tool album, and yeah, you're right. They write 10-minute songs, which I love. I love jam band stuff. So that's
one of those ones where you almost have to just play it straight through though, because like even this album, like I don't think there's any real standalone tracks. Like it's one big track.
Yeah, it's a concept record.
Yeah. It's not like their older albums where you could pick and pluck like Enema or Eulogy or whatever.
In fact, when I write, I actually like to put out more concept based records. I've put out more records that are better listened to all the way through from front to end.
Yeah.
They're cohesive, you know what I mean? Like we'll start with you're putting a tape cassette into the tape and you're locking it and you're hitting play and you hear the tape start to roll, and then at the very end of the record, you know, you're hitting the rewind button just to make stuff cohesive. And I was more of a big fan of the 60s and 70s concept records like Dark Side of the Moons and
all-time favorite album.
Yeah, mine too.
It's actually the only band t-shirt that I have.
Really?
Is a Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt.
I've got the poster over my bed.
Nice.
And I was just saying yesterday, I was like, I wish I had $1 for every time I've listened to Dark Side of the Moon, because I would be rich.
I used to go to sleep listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Man, it's a great record. I mean, it is. I get cold chills talking about it. It is one of the best records of all time, and it was I think the longest running record on the Billboard charts ever.
Really?
It probably is still on there. It's like, you know, it's way down, but it's on
epic.
there. Yeah, I took a music history class in college, and we talked about that, and we talked about how Pink Floyd was. Oh, look who's calling in.
Oh,
we're talking about Pink Floyd. Let's see who this is. Oh, we've got somebody here. Hi, this is LRS. How are you doing? Are you there?
I'm here.
Happy birthday, Sydney. What's up?
Thanks, girl. I was just getting my heart in.
I love that you're calling in. So it's Sydney from Juicebox Heroes. Who is Josh's
always steals my thunder.
Hey,
I'm just joking.
She wanted to call me.
I did. I wanted her to call in.
This is actually good. You can tell all the people the details about our shows.
Yeah, perfect. Drummers never remember shit.
I just know where I'm supposed to be when.
Yeah, same. How are you doing, Miss Sydney? Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sydney is responsible for hooking this conversation up, actually, yes.
She is. And this is her last year of the 20s.
Oh.
I am 29 today.
Ooh, 29. Oh, Lord.
Right.
29, damn she fine. And that's how it goes.
Yeah. So how did you get your hair did?
Yeah, girl, I'm still getting it did.
Oh,
she'd better have her makeup done.
Sweet. Are you at the salon right now talking to us?
I'm literally at the salon in a private back room talking to you.
I love it. Well, tell them we said hello. LRS says hello to the salon.
Hey. I'm not bougie.
Did you say I'm not bougie?
I did.
I'm not bougie.
We're all bougie.
G-I-E. I wrote a song called Bougie. That's why she's. That's funny.
I want to start an apparel company called Bougie on a Budget.
I love that.
Because that's how I live. I'm bougie on a budget. I'm bougie about certain things. I'm drinking Starbucks.
I wrote a diss track to my ex called Bougie, and I put on a wedding dress, and the video is on YouTube. Yes.
It's a straight bop, too. Hey, so is Josh behaving himself?
He is. He's hilarious. I love Josh.
Good.
Yes. Great radio.
I love him, too.
Yes. So happy birthday to you. Thank you for hooking Josh up with me.
Yes.
I want you to tell us a little bit about your gigs coming up and where people can check y'all out. Because, again, you're one of my favorite bands around town.
Yes.
Yay.
For sure. So this Saturday night, we are playing an event called Tutus and Tatas. It is a celebration of life for breast cancer fighters and survivors. And as you know, the show is very dear to my heart because my mother is now in remission as of like a couple weeks ago from breast cancer. And actually Josh's mother had breast cancer as well.
Yep. Wow. 2003.
Yep. So it's something that's very special to us as the Juicebox Heroes, and we want to support their cause. So it's like a big celebration of life. Tickets are $15. Doors open at 7. That's this Friday night at the Shriners Club in Clarksville, Indiana. I think band starts at 7:30, and then there's going to be this big
when is it?
This Saturday, October 26th.
The drummer's like, do I need to play something? Right.
He's like, hold on, wait, what?
We're talking about tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about tomorrow. Tonight is a private party.
Right.
But anyway.
Private combo on the air.
I know. I love it. That's how we roll, man.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. But yeah, so that one will be really cool. They're doing this big auction where local businessmen are going to be modeling like artistically like developed like bras and stuff. It's gonna be hilarious.
Wait, male models? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. I'm all about it. I love a man in a dress.
Right.
Yes.
I do.
I should have worn my kilt.
I know you should have.
It's too cold. I need tall socks.
All right.
Yeah, so they're gonna be auctioning off these bras, and the bras like the donations towards the bras are going to be going towards Philly's Blankets of Hope. And I don't know if you know anything about that, but what they do is they make blankets for people who are currently battling breast cancer. So it's pretty cool.
I love that, Sydney.
Yeah.
That's so rad. And, good luck to your mom and Josh's too. That's crazy. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you haven't gotten a mammogram and you're over 40, go do it now.
Yes, ma'am.
And
yeah.
Don't ask me. I'm not a professional.
Right.
I'll give you my opinion, but I wouldn't trust it.
I was like, I consider myself a professional in that sense.
You need a sign, like one of those cardboard signs that say like free breast exams, like written in like crappy Sharpie.
Yeah, I'm going to jail tonight.
I saw one of those today that was a guy who had a box on his head and it had like the cutouts for the breasts and it said place breasts here.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Yeah, but if you are, we're being all seriousness, if you are over 40, go get your breast exam. If you're under 40, go get your breast exam. Get them examined all the time.
Just get your breast examined, y'all.
Yes, by professional.
Yeah, exactly. Not me.
Professional.
Right.
Oh my God. I cannot.
I know.
Don't fall for the knockoffs.
I know. You're so funny. Hey, I eat Bacos. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Well, that's the saying. If you can touch them, they're real.
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, continue on with your gigs there.
Yeah. So then next Friday night, we are playing a Halloween show at Goodwood Live Room in Jeffersonville. I believe we start at 9 p.m. There are costumes are encouraged, and I believe there will be a costume contest. I'm not sure what the prize is just yet, but that'll be a fun time. And then New Year's Eve this year, we are playing the Gillespie party, which is going to be cool as fuck.
Ding.
We are playing.
I got $1 for you.
Hey. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Josh brought in like $51 bills so we could cuss all day.
Yes, I'm for it.
And we're going to the strip club before your show.
Yes.
In the middle of the day.
You would.
Of course I would. Why wouldn't I?
So that one's going to be at the Gillespie. It is, I'm not sure what time we start, but it's going to be a really fun night. Tickets start at $75, which sounds like a lot, but literally all alcohol is included with that ticket price.
Yeah,
all night.
So,
right on.
And it's going to be a rager.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if you think about it.
It's a really cool venue too. So I mean, you're going to get all the selfies and all that stuff. They're going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are the VIPs? Are they sold out? I can't remember.
No, they are. I don't think they're sold out yet, but
like Daniel told me this morning they were, but
they might be. I'm not 100% sure, but if you go on our Facebook page, we have the event that is shared on both our page and the Gillespie's page now. Mm-hmm. So it has all that information with a link for tickets and all that cool stuff.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Man, y'all are like the coolest band ever. I keep telling him, he's like, y'all are my favorite band in town, I think, pretty much.
Well, we just love you.
I love y'all back.
Awesome. How many of those ones did he pay you to say that?
None.
Only a small set.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, though, but is it Daniel who's your lead singer?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. We need to get him up in here, too. And you tell him next time I show up at a gig, I want to play tambourine for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stand in the back and play some tambourine.
I mean, I guess I'll let you have my job. That's my job.
Is that your job,
No. What's the one he plays on? Isn't it Party in the USA or something?
He's so bad at it.
Dude, I love that song. It's a guilty pleasure.
I'm calling him out, man. He is awful on the tambourine.
I did not say that. That's not me.
Dude,
I wish I had a tambourine. I've got a shaker, but no tambourine up in the studio. Yeah.
I know. I always love. So we play. We do the song "Tricky."
Yeah,
you know,
it's tricky.
Yeah.
And when we do that song, I get behind the drums. I get behind the drums with Josh.
Yeah.
And like we do some fun stuff. It's like really kind of goofy.
Dude,
but
Run
it's a
DMC
blast.
was my jam. As soon as they came out, I had the shoes and the jacket and I still got the big boom box.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
For sure.
I have my original boom box from the 80s.
Batteries?
It does. It takes like
12
6.
of them.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. But it's cool. It's still got the RCA outs on the back, which is cool. And it still plays tapes. And I've got Barbara Mandrell's greatest hits up
I
in
still
there
have
right
a tape
now.
deck.
Yeah.
the tape that's in my tape deck, though,
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2, the
Hell
soundtrack.
yeah.
Oh my god!
I was like, I don't
That's
even remember.
amazing.
Did they make a Ghostbusters too?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
Bobby Brown is he sings the theme song.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I've got to
awesome.
go back and check that out.
Oh yeah,
Your
I've
copy.
got. You know what my tape is?
What's that?
Grease.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
The original.
Yes.
Yeah,
Theater.
the
Grease
original.
is the word.
You're the one
it's
that I
the
want.
word that
You're the
you
only
want.
one I want.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Honey. Yeah, I love that. I love that's a great musical. That's
Me
one
too.
I've
It's
never
the best.
played. Actually, it's one of the only ones I haven't.
Oh,
played.
it's so
That's
much
actually
fun.
where me and Sydney met.
Really?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
about to say that.
I played drums and she was Rizzo at the River Stage.
You would be Rizzo.
Oh, right.
We have been friends
She was
literally.
How old were you? 15?
Next year, it'll be 15 years that
Yeah.
I've known
Wow.
this little dude
Yeah.
right here.
I'm
That is
sorry.
so cool. Well, thanks for the hookup because he's awesome. We've been
Yes.
talking everything today. Yeah. And
Well-
by the way, I brought in Cards Against Humanity. We're about to pull some cards here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to win.
Yeah. There's only 2 of us. Can you even play Cards Against Humanity with 2 people? I don't think you can.
I'm sure you
Because
can.
I would guess.
You just have to come up with
I would
a
always guess
consensus of
yours, and
who-
you would always have to guess mine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what
But
I
once, so the way we play on the road, because we take these on the road with us
Okay,
when we go
cool.
travel, because we're all fucked up people. So, so
Ding, ding,
it
ding.
really just if there's 2 of you, you just come up with a consensus of whose thing was more fucked up.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
Whichever one makes you laugh uncomfortably more,
Yeah.
that person won that round.
See, they all make me laugh. I love like
yeah, but every once in a while you'll
ridiculously.
get a real gem.
Yeah, like
you just get lucky with the cards.
one of my favorites has always been somebody played the high five bro, or no, it was chainsaw hands. High five bro. Yeah. By the way, though, I have to tell you this while we got Sydney on the line. I applied and they gave me my own black card and my own white card. So at
really?
one point, I was playing with like 20 of my friends, and the white card says, "Here lies Jyn Yates," and it gives my death date. It's like 1978 to 2015, and
Yeah.
it said "lover of blank."
Oh,
well, then
God.
they gave me a black card that said Jyn Yates. So somebody laid Jyn Yates on the Jyn Yates card. It was like lover of herself. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
That's actually how you died.
It actually was true. Right. No, but if you're around for Christmas, they'll send you like weird gifts. They gave me a piece of land in Hawaii one time that's like literally like 1 square inch or something like that.
Is it like a koa forest?
I don't know, but they send you weird stuff. Yeah.
I can't remember where it was. I heard a story about that.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that
yeah.
later on. But yeah, we've got the cards here. We're about to pull some.
Sweet.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all get to that because I gotta get this color back on my hair.
Hey, does
All
she
right,
have your
girl.
makeup yet?
Huh?
Does she have your makeup yet?
No, she's doing that with all of us at my house here in a little bit.
Wow.
The girls
So
come
you-
into the house.
She is bougie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
She got her
Yeah.
hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
You are bougie,
no,
Sydney.
We're doing Halloween makeup tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm supposed to, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. I'm like, I'm also playing Chill Bar Highlands tonight
nice.
from 7
That's
till
right.
9.
I saw that.
Yeah, and Nick was like, "Can I wear a mask?" I was like, can you sing through a mask? I don't know how that works.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be real hot, yeah.
The Masked Singer, man.
Yeah, the Masked Singer. Oh, maybe the little eye one. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, where your mouth is still exposed, yeah.
Oh yeah, what, like a masquerade mask?
Yeah, masquerade mask. Yeah.
No, you got to do like the Kentucky Derby horse head mask, where it's just like all muffled.
Yeah. Well, Sydney, thank you for calling in. Thank you for hooking this interview up. I wish you much success in the Juice Box Heroes, which is the coolest band ever.
Bye,
and
Sid.
next time you're free, come back in on our show. Okay.
Of course, would love to.
All right, you keep it rocking, girl.
You too, bad.
All
Bye.
right, bye. We love Sydney. Yeah, that's super cool, man. Hey, right now, let's give away some tickets, though. We're going to give away, if you're listening, we're going to give away some tickets to the Baxter Avenue Morgue. What can we do? Let's have somebody contact me on my social media.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's have you contact me on my Facebook and send me a private message. And what's the code word? Juice Box Heroes?
Yep.
Yeah, Juice Box Heroes. Or you
Heroes.
could try to guess my favorite juice box if you want to.
Ooh, it's got to be grape.
Oh.
No, for me.
You know what mine is? It's a Capri Sun. I love the tropical, the little pouchy ones that you stick that like you have to, it takes you like 20 years to stab the straw through. Because if you're missing the hole.
You got to do your thumb on the end of the straw so that it doesn't bend.
Right. Yes, because they gave you the smallest straws ever for those things. But I love the tropical. I forget what, I think it's tropical punch, but it's one of those. And I used to love those as a kid. Those little you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the Capri Suns.
The Capri Suns, like the bag?
Yeah, the bag ones. I was going to try to find us some today, but I didn't have time. And I was like, screw this, I'm going for coffee.
They're in Kroger.
Oh, are they?
They're in a weird spot, though. They're in like the aisle with like granola bars and stuff because it's all like prepackaged foods that like doesn't need refrigerating.
Okay.
So it's like lunchbox stuff.
Yeah. Understood.
But yeah,
all right. So if you're the first person to message me on Facebook and say Capri Sun or Juice Box Heroes,
one of the two,
I'm going to give you some free tickets and you can hook up with me and I will.
If you say Capri Sun, you only get 2 of the 4.
Right. Yeah. You've got to give me all of it. You've got to get Juice Box Heroes. Juice Box Heroes will get you 2.
Exactly.
And Capri Sun will get you the other 2. So say it to me and I'll check it out after the show and let you know how to get the tickets.
Nice.
I might send them on a scavenger hunt and like tape them up to a random street corner or something.
Oh, you totally should do something like that.
Yeah, like GP. What is that?
Geotagging?
Geocaching
or caching. Yeah, that's what it is.
We used to drive around in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee on golf carts and play that game, and it is so weird.
Is that a thing where there's like actually a USB somewhere sitting out?
There can be. There can be lots of different versions
somebody
of
doing
it.
where there was like they literally
hide
found a
stuff.
USB in like the mortar of a brick somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
when I was a kid, I loved the scavenger hunt. Of course, I was a big Goonies fan, so we used to draw like Goonies maps. You know what I mean? And I know, right? And I had a tree house. So
it's one of the best movies of all time. It's got to be in my top 3.
Same. I mean, same. Except for that weird outtake octopus version. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah. If you buy the Goonies DVD, they come with the extra outtakes that they didn't include.
Octopus attacking the pirate ship or something?
No. When they fall into the water from the pirate ship and walk the plank and all that, there's a huge octopus that comes up and tries to like kill him. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, the rest of the movie's so good. Even if they threw that in the final cut,
yeah. Thank you, Steven Spielberg, for cutting that part out because it was horrible. I would have ruined the whole movie.
But damn you for giving all us kids hope that we can find hidden treasure in our
By the way, I was searching for hidden treasure after that. I was like, dude, I wanted the metal detector. I was searching lakes for rubies.
These woods behind Kroger have to have hidden treasure in them somewhere.
By the way, if you're up,
holes.
you know where the Kroger is up off of Goss, Poplar Level there by Eastern Parkway? That one's haunted. Did you know that?
No.
It was built over top of a cemetery, and there's still a cemetery in the back of it. I used to walk through it because
That's so creepy.
It is creepy, but my friends who have all worked there.
How do you get permits to do something like that? Like I thought a cemetery was a cemetery, like
I
forever.
No. Actually, I've known of several places that have dug up cemeteries and moved them, which is never
that's
a
only
good
when
idea.
It's like a small family plot on, like like when like a family owns like a big farm and then they sell the whole land off and do like subdivision.
Yeah,
I feel like I've only heard of it.
I don't know, but I'm telling you right
we're
now,
gonna get rid of the cemetery and build a Kroger. Kroger. I hope you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, I know you might have relatives, but you can visit them down the street. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, no shit. No, what I was going to say, though, is I had a couple friends who worked at that one late at night, and they would swear stuff would fly off the walls, like all kinds of stuff, and people just ignore it. They just ignore that it's haunted.
I mean, what is freaking out going to accomplish as a ghost?
Right. Plus, I want my milk to levitate anyway.
Even if there is a ghost and that ghost is visible and throwing stuff at you, I mean, literally, what are you going to do other than call the Ghostbusters?
Correct.
Who don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's play some cards. Now, tell us why you have a connection to Cards Against Humanity.
So, we actually, my business partner, Jeff, and I just got back from Chicago last night. We are doing a very exciting build with the people from Cards Against Humanity.
I can't wait to visit this too.
They're doing like a board game cafe up there in downtown Chicago.
Is this the first of its kind? Do we know?
Yeah, okay. I believe so. It's definitely the first one that they're doing, and apparently it's been in development for a couple of years now. Okay. And now they're at the point where we just went there yesterday, and it's under construction and all kinds of stuff. I can't discuss what we're doing. I can't discuss
that's okay. You don't have to discuss
anything about it.
I'm not going to put a gun to your head or nothing like that.
It's super cool.
I know it is.
But like,
basically, though, long story short, there's going to be cafes that involve Cards Against Humanity, maybe some food and drinks, something like that.
If I'm understanding it correctly, I think it's just all board games. Like the building's really cool. And I think it's gonna have like a retail space and stuff like that. But
that's super rad.
Yeah, it looks like. So I saw an article.
Can you
the
tell
other
us
day
what
from
part of Chicago?
I could if I knew what it was.
Right.
But
I'm guessing downtown probably somewhere.
I think it.
I don't see them building it on South Side
downtown. No. It's definitely not South Side. It's a little bit. I drove there at like 8 in the morning yesterday, so it's fuzzy. It's a little bit on the northwest from downtown, but not far.
Okay, cool.
Like it's still well within the city, but it seems like it's more of a kind of like a Bardstown Road area of the town. Like a lot of tattoo shops and fine dining and stuff like that. And that's what this place seems like it's going to be from the article I read.
Cool.
They had pictures of the food, and it looks very, high end. And
well, that
tasty.
sounds like a blast. On Bardstown Road, there used to be a board game shop that people went and ate and drank at.
I've been there.
I think it was the House of Brews or House of...
Yeah, it was right there near...
Diorio's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, what is there now? They just made it, I don't know, whatever it was in that
I moved
White
out of the
House.
Highlands like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it anymore.
Man, I've been there on and off for 21 years, inside, outside it, kind of all around it, I
couldn't do any more drunken people passed out on my front stoop anymore.
You must have been right on the strip.
I was on Eastern Parkway and Bardstown Road.
Okay.
I was on like the park
I'm
side
in Eastern and
Poplar
Poplar right now. Yeah.
I'm
far enough away.
So I was like 5 buildings down from Comfy Cow.
Oh, wow.
So I could see the 24-hour Qdoba from my balcony, which was terrible at 3 in the morning. I'd be like, oh man, I could
There's
just
a lot
walk
of
there.
That's a homeless spot, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so.
But you're close to the park, which I love.
Oh yeah. Well, that was half of it because I love nature. Like I'm a huge hiking nut. And
I was
at
Cherokee Park yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that park.
It's got good climbing trees.
It does. In fact, I love the Seneca side of it because of Big Rock, and you can jump and you can.
Somebody was just killed there, weren't they? I feel like somebody was just shot at Big Rock.
Really?
Yeah, like
shot?
Not that long ago. I'm almost
Seems
positive
so odd.
I saw that.
Well, I will say I've seen some shady shit there. I ain't gonna lie.
Well,
I was there not too long ago, and they've got the little rock climbing rocks and all that stuff. I was back over, and I like to go over by the water and then climb up the side up by Big Rock and all that. And while I was there, like some dude drove down. It was dark, and some dude drove down. I was kind of off where they couldn't see me.
Right.
And some car comes up. Gets out, some chick gets out and goes into that pavilion-y area.
Yeah.
And then literally I was like, what's going on here? It's something weird. And it looked like she picked up something and then got back in the car. And I was like, was that a drug deal? I was like,
that's a risky drug deal. Like, hey, look, I'm just going to leave these drugs out here. Just promise me you'll leave the cash.
I know, right? It was very weird. But I was like, what else would they be doing?
Maybe,
it was
maybe
very
she forgot
odd.
her phone. Like, maybe she was at the park or something.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt.
Maybe not the phone. Right. Maybe like her keys or something.
I don't know. I'm like, were they having sex in the pavilion? I mean, I don't know what was going on there. There's something very weird.
Babe, I can't find my panties.
That particular.
Let's go check the park.
Oh my God. That's great. I love that. No, but no kidding. That little pavilion-y area near Seneca seems to be very shady.
Yeah.
There's always some shady weirdness going on there.
Well,
People doing witchcraft or something.
Parks always have, oh God, we going back to the 80s.
I know,
all the witchcraft scares.
yeah.
They're listening to Ozzy Osbourne.
I know.
They're worshiping the devil.
Yeah, right. Marilyn Manson was on.
I feel like all parks kind of get that mentality, though. I mean, that's why most parks have signs that say, like, parks close after dark.
I agree.
It's like, you're not supposed to be in here.
Let's see if we can find a... I'm going to pull
and
a...
So anybody who's in there...
racially biased SAT questions. Sounds about right.
Are we coming up with racially biased?
I don't know. What do we do with these? How do y'all play them on the road?
How do you make a tamale?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to pull one more and then I'm going to let you pull some. Oh, Finding Waldo. Well, that one's fun. I love Waldo.
I actually have a Waldo travel book.
Do you really?
It's like really small.
Oh, I love those.
And it's really small, so it's terrible.
I'm such a geek that I love me some Where's Waldo.
You can't see him because he's like a 1/4 inch tall.
I know,
because
that's the point.
It's like the huge book,
right?
Shrunk down to like a 6x6.
Well, then I could never see it because unless I'm
like
wearing
need
glasses.
Like a magnifying glass.
In my 40s, I can't see anything. I wake up and I try to read my text messages, and I'm like, I can't understand what any of them say. I need a good 45 minutes to like get my vision.
Do we
clear.
not have black cards in here?
Oh, did I forget the black cards? I've got black cards too. Oh, is there no black ones in there?
I don't think so.
Weird.
We'll just do this.
Lame. It's hard to play with just the white cards.
Right.
Yeah, what'd you get?
A time travel paradox. Oh wait, hold on. I'll do my movie voice. A time travel paradox. Small town cops with M4 assault rifles.
That sounds about right.
Hell?
I don't know. It sounds like Kentucky though.
It does. You saw the who was it? CNN or whatever messed up that story about it was like some Syrian attack.
Yes, and it was our
the
shooting
from
range.
LaGrange.
Yeah. Who the hell does that?
I don't know, but so my business
it was
partner,
supposed to be. Wait, explain to everybody what that was.
So I'm pretty sure it was CNN.
I think it was CNN.
CBS or somebody. It was somebody reputable.
Yeah.
They were talking about, I guess it was Kurdish attacks on Syria or something.
Right.
And the B-roll footage that they used of like this machine gun just going ape shit on whatever it was shooting was actually footage from the machine gun shoot out at whatever.
Fort Knox.
No,
gun range,
no,
wasn't it?
It's the gun range. It's the private one out in like LaGrange or whatever out in the East End. It's got I'm pretty sure it's got a gun store attached to it, but like you can go out there, like you personally could go out there and rent a machine gun for 15 minutes and just let off 200.
I don't need to because my father owns like hundreds.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you know how fun it is to do it. But yeah, so every year they go out there with like a van and they load it up with like 50-gallon drums of gasoline and they shoot it. You just pay so much money and you can shoot up a gas can to explode it
because that's fantastic for our environment, just like the 4th of July.
It's like rolling coal. It's the same people.
Right.
But so, yeah, they used footage from that. But my business partner used to work in film, and he's looking at it, and he's like, he compared it to the original. They, like, toned down they, like, did all kinds of video editing to it to make it look darker so you couldn't really see what was actually in the image and stuff
video,
like that.
I'm sorry,
so
you
like,
knew what you
it
were
wasn't
doing.
even like an oops.
Yeah.
It was like, we don't have footage of this.
Right.
Somebody find me footage of something that looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
It's just like, ding,
man,
ding.
we're raising all kinds of money for charity.
You know, it's just so funny. It was very, very intentional.
I don't know if you know anything about my background, but I was in political radio news, and that's why.
Fun.
Oh, yeah. And this was the Bush Jr. year. So I worked beside Mitch McConnell and Ann Northup and Ernie Fletcher.
You know, honestly, that's probably a fairly funny time to be doing news reporting.
Well,
because like he was very comical. Like Trump is kind of scary.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's funny, but he's also like kind of terrifying because like at least Trump or with Bush, you were like, this guy's kind of an idiot, but he's got decent people around him.
Back then, though, we thought that he
was the devil back
worst
then.
President.
But, yeah,
he only got elected because he did coke.
Well,
I mean, everybody was like, "Yeah, we want to do coke with the president."
He was George Bush's senior son,
right?
So, I mean,
and now he looks like a saint compared to this dude.
Well,
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like we all kind of get that way because, like, you know, the Clintons had a lot of hate towards them when they were in office, and now people talk about the Clintons like it's so benign.
Right.
I feel like it's like almost like a senioritis kind of thing, or you know,
just
like
their
you
default.
look back on it with like rose-colored glasses. You're like, oh, you
Which
know,
I have
it's a
on.
simpler time, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you know, every person that you have, somebody hates on, and you know, sometimes the majority. Of people hate on
we
them
had Nixon as a president for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, but so I think it's one of those things where like we look at George W. now in the context of somebody like Trump, and we're like, oh, he was so harmless, blah 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 blah. But like, he was still doing all kinds of like we're in a deep state right now because of his policies.
Well,
so like, he was way more detrimental to the privacy and security of Americans.
Well, and do you remember?
I
mean, do you remember the Supreme Court thing? I mean, he didn't really get voted in. I mean, it was his daddy knew a lot of the Supreme Court guys. The Florida issue.
Well, it was Electoral College.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And same with Trump
and
and
it's the
Hillary.
same thing.
Okay, wait. Let's not talk politics. That's why I got out of radio.
That's why we play the drums, baby. So we don't have to use our brains.
Exactly. I was like, politics, drums, politics. Right. That's a hard question. Nope.
So I heard Trump played the bass.
Yeah. No kidding.
No, I'm just joking.
Hey, Clinton did play the sax though. That was pretty groovy.
That was actually really cool because he was good.
I remember him on Arsenio Hall. I remember being a kid watching that.
He was good. That was impressive.
He was good, man.
Well, I mean, Reagan was an actor.
I know. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
A lot of people think, oh God, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I got out
Dan
of
Carlin.
I got out of political radio news to pursue my love of music at age 30. I literally was like, I can't do this. And I actually had the exclusive that started to take Ernie Fletcher down, which he ended up getting taken down.
Oh, really?
He was scandalously, he had gotten a building here in Louisville, Kentucky, and he was doing all this like illegal stuff, and we got word of it, and I got the exclusive on it, which means if you get an exclusive, although today everybody's like, I got an exclusive. That means you're a news media outlet that has the story first. Nobody else has it, and it's an exclusive. So we broke the story about Ernie Fletcher having the illegal places here, and they were running all kinds of like screening stuff that was illegal that you couldn't do, and ran the story, and next thing you know he got taken out because of that.
Wow.
Actually, so I was very proud of that fact.
Nice.
I got to do a lot of cool stuff.
It's
after
always
that,
nice when you can hold people accountable for crappy behavior.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I covered 2 out of the 3 David Cam trials.
Oh, really?
2 out of the 3.
I feel like I just saw something.
I don't know.
He's like back at it, like trying to sue for.
He probably
something.
is.
It's like, dude, you killed your family.
He did it. Like, just shut up. We're tired of it. And yes, he was a cop. Who cares? He fucking killed his family. Like, sorry, excuse me. Allegedly. But
allegedly.
Yeah, but there was a lot of stuff that was not allowed in. They kept having mistrials, and Keith Henderson, who was the prosecutor at the time for New Albany. I mean, you can talk to any cops, and I knew several cops over there, and I did a lot of research on that trial, and it wasn't until the second one that Charles Bonnet came through and all that. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that was not allowed into evidence. That pretty much. I feel
like with his trial too, like it was kind of like almost like the OJ trial. Like we all knew he was guilty. Like we didn't need
how
the
he got
verdict
off
necessarily or whatever.
It's like, shit.
Like Johnny Cochran, man, he must have been just phone ringing off the hook after that.
That was, you know what's funny is I was in school when they came out with the verdict, and I remember other than the Challenger, because I'm old enough to I remember where I was.
I remember both.
Yeah, they let us in school watch the Challenger thing, and I remember it blowing up. And every
teacher in America's standing jaw just dropped to the ground.
I know.
Like, I don't. Do I leave the TV on? Do I say
right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, kids, that was the wrong channel.
Yep. And then right after that, I remember being in high school, and they let us watch the OJ trial court case, and it was a very divisive thing at the time. It was very racially driven.
Felt very racially charged.
It did, because in my class, I felt like the African American students were very pro OJ, where the white students were very not pro OJ. And it was just it was very uncomfortable at the time. I just remember it being uncomfortable.
Right. Well, and it didn't help that at the time of that was when the LAPD was notorious for being
racist.
Extremely racist.
Well, and they still are. I mean, they beat. What was the dude that they beat up? That it started the riots. Sublime wrote a song about it. April 29th.
That was the LA riots.
Yeah, what started that though? The cops beat the dude in the semi that was black. Remember?
That was a Rodney King beating.
Rodney King. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. But that was what, right after the OJ trial?
Yes.
Yeah. So like those tensions have been brewing for a while,
and they probably still are.
They are a little bit. But apparently there was like a whole subset of stuff between the African American community and the Korean community, because I guess a African American girl had been killed by a Korean shop owner at the time, which is why they were going through and burning down all the Korean buildings.
Yeah,
like a lot of the stuff they burned down in the LA riots was Korean owned shops and businesses and stuff.
Yeah,
so it was very, just crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just watched like an NWA documentary. And
cool.
it was just
yeah.
like, oh wow,
I love NWA.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I used to
you couldn't even do that stuff now.
Oh no. Well, I mean, you could, but I mean,
feel like we're in such a deep state now with everything. Like the police now carry M4s.
Well, right.
Like, they ride around in tanks and stuff.
Only
like
that,
they just shut it down.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still dealing with that, and police officers are just, and no offense, because I really do respect police officers, but I don't trust them. I'm sorry, I don't trust you. I'm sorry.
If you've never had a good experience, then that's your experience.
I haven't. Yeah, exactly. And I grew up in the court system. My mother worked for a circuit court judge, so I got to see like rape trials and drug trials. I just got out
of jury duty.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had jury duty scheduled for like a couple weeks ago, and I called the hotline the night before, and it was like, this trial's canceled. You don't have to worry about showing up. I was like, hell yeah.
Well, by the way, they've called me like 4 times for jury duty in the past like 10 years, and they're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be like a 3 to 5 year like.
I think that's if you serve.
Well, I did serve.
Oh, you did serve?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to limit that.
Yeah,
because $15 a day. I mean, I don't know what kind of job you have, but that's not.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah,
it's not that cheap. I can assure you, I make $100 an hour at least.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, so I'm not doing that.
To go judge people. That's the only fun part is judging people.
Right. My mom used to literally, though, she used to have to write the jury instructions, and I remember she would come home really late sometimes because like she'd be like, "Well, the jury's still out, and I've got to wait here to like and
oh man,
she was that part because she had all the major court trials because circuit court is like the rapes and murders and drug trials and all the big stuff, So yeah, it was always fascinating. My mom really wanted me to be a lawyer growing up, and I was like,
I always wanted to be an architect.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
which is hilarious now because I literally I have a bunch of actual drafting plans rolled up on my piano right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like, well, I'm doing it. Like I was joking with a friend like last year. I was like, man, 16-year-old me would be so impressed with myself right now because I'm still playing the drums. Professionally.
Yes, exactly.
I'm still
in
doing
a great band
art professionally. I'm still doing theater professionally. So
I
still have all my hair, which I'm super happy about.
Yeah, I would think guys would worry about that a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's got to be
I have a lot of friends who are bald.
I do too. I love to tease
Bev
them.
was bald. Even.
I'll just shake my head at them.
Yeah,
just let my flowy hair.
I've always had crazy thick hair. Like
right.
my father has the thickest head of hair, and he never ever lost a drop. So I was like, yeah, I got my dad's hair.
Yeah,
so
my paternal or maternal grandfather died with a head of curly, thick black hair. So I think.
I've always said if I get cancer, though, I'm shaving my head, I'm making a wig, and I'm wearing it because I love my hair. My hair is my safety blanket a little bit.
Yeah, that's what my mom did, but she ended up hating the wig.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though it was her hair.
Well, no, that one wasn't made out of her hair because she always keeps her hair kind of short. Like her hair is probably definitely shorter than mine right now. But
if I had short hair, I would wear a mohawk.
She got a really good one
cool,
from. It was some foundation that gives them for women who are going through breast cancer treatments and stuff. And I mean, it was a very nice wig.
What's that? There's a sham. Is it
well, there's the
not the dog
St. Baldrick's.
St. Baldrick's, that's right. Yeah. I once had an ex cut her hair off and do that.
I thought about doing that, and actually, when Mom had breast cancer, she forbade me from shaving my head because I was going to do it in like solidarity with her, and she was like, "No, just let me live vicariously through your hair," because like we basically have like the same hair as far as like texture and stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
But so she was a teacher. She's a middle school teacher, and she went to school the first 2 days with the wig on because they're on like block scheduling, so it's like different students every other day. So the first 2 days she wore the wig, and she told him like, next time you see me, I'm not gonna be wearing this because I don't like it. It feels uncomfortable, whatever. But I don't want to hear any of your little smart ass things from you middle schoolers, essentially.
My girl Bev shaved her head.
Yeah,
and a lot of people would always ask me if she had cancer.
Oh, she just did it for...
Well, she did it for many reasons, but her main reasoning was she's been shaving her head since she was like 16. Oh. And that was because she was sexually abused. And she found that if she cut her head off and shaved it... out. Yes, if she looked like a man, they wouldn't touch her.
Right.
And so she continued to shave her head. And then along her path, or her journey, she did a lot of work with cancer patients in hospitals. And they were like, you're like me. And she was like, that's right. So she had a soft spot.
Really really
her
cool.
heart, and she decided just to keep shaving her head.
Right.
But she always would talk about, the media when they got on her, because she was on The Voice season 1, and she did duets with Christina.
Like you're trying to look like a cancer patient.
No, they would call her a skinhead. She was just like Sinead O'Connor, and Sinead
Who's
O'Connor,
Muslim now.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Well, she's semi-nuts. I mean, let's just be real. She just got charged for trying to kill all of her family or something.
Did she really?
Yeah, she's nuts.
Oh,
dude.
my God.
I mean, I love her music.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she used to be in the IRA or affiliated with them.
She probably was.
Which is crazy.
I've heard she's fruitcakes, though.
I heard some brief interview
what
with her.
What great artist isn't, really? I mean, there is a fine line between genius and crazy.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Most serial killers are pretty smart and pretty.
I feel like a lot of true artists, even if they know who they are, they don't really have an identity. They're very much chameleons, kind of like the best actors.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see
Daniel
that.
Day-Lewis, like the extreme method actors, they just adopt a personality.
I'll tell you one who creeps me out is Kevin Spacey.
Well, he probably creeps you out for different reasons now.
Lots of different reasons.
Now that stuff has come to light. But I
wasn't even talking about that. You're talking about the little boy stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if it was little boys. I think it was... Or one of them was.
Pretty much all of the gay community, the male gay community, Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper are like, yeah, he's creepy.
Right.
I mean, if they're saying he's creepy, he probably is.
He probably gives off a rapey vibe.
Kind of. And have you seen him in Seven? Jeez.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is he's very good at being creepy. Because, I mean, you got Seven, you've got American Beauty.
Yeah, American Beauty, that's right.
Weird in that. Yeah. And then, House of Cards he was crazy in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was
on the road.
It was Wesley Crusher from Star Trek Next Generation. That was who his main accuser was. He was saying that he was
it
when
really?
he was 14
Weird.
and on the show.
I don't doubt it. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to allegedly.
Allegedly. We need
say it in harmony.
We need an allegedly ding bell.
I do. I need an allegedly.
I've
I've got a Shady McShade on here. Hang on, wait, let me find it.
Do you have a sound box?
I do. I also have walrus sound effects, which I love. Have you ever heard of walrus sound effects?
No.
Listen, here is one. I'm gonna give it to you.
Does it sound like a Wookiee?
Oh, wait, I gotta turn it. I don't know. It could sound like a Wookiee, but walruses make the weirdest noises. And they're all mating calls.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
the
weird.
Fuck is that?
It's a walrus, is what.
Is that the mating call, or is that they're mating?
No,
that sounded like some slappage.
It is. They're clapping. The walruses have multiple mating calls, and they do it all for the female, and the female gets to choose which one she likes. I mean, they're
I'd
weird
pick
animals.
that one.
Yeah, that's
if
a weird
it was me,
whistle.
I'd pick that one.
It's a whistle. Here, let's do another whistle. Let's see what this one is. I mean, that sounds like the Sweeney Todd kill off, we're about to kill people whistle.
It just sounds desperate to me.
Right?
He's trying too hard.
I agree with you, man. I don't know. There's some weird stuff. Wait, let me see.
I think the first guy was playing it cool.
Let me see this one.
Shady McShade in the house.
Shady McShade in the house. That's right. That's my friend Rodney. Yeah, we did all kinds of hilarious little, and this is my personal favorite because it's from a song that I wrote. But
we get a whack.
Wiggity whack.
Wiggity whack. You remember what was it?
Crisscross.
Yeah, it was Crisscross that did that first.
I definitely put my my overalls on backwards.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
and had the one hanging off for years.
Oh yeah, you had to have the one hanging off. If you had both clipped, you were a farmer.
I know. Well,
it didn't matter if you didn't own a farm. We were knocking you like you were old man farmer.
Well, I did grow up on a tobacco farm. Tobacco.
Right, but you seem like you were still with it enough to pop one of those off and do the one strap on. I was
like the cool kid stripping tobacco with my 80s boombox.
You know what I'm saying?
I only stripped tobacco because they gave me $15 an hour when I was 13. So I'd be
awesome.
all I got to do is go in this cold barn and strip this tobacco off the stem. Sure, I'll sit there for 5 hours and do that and make a bunch of money.
Oh, God, the 80s.
Yeah.
I can't believe we
love
all
the 80s.
survived.
Same. Every time I interview somebody in here that is from the 60s or 70s, I'm like, how did you make it through? Because, I mean, they were
as an adult? Yeah,
yeah. They were popping acid all the time and drinking all the time and mixing stuff. And I'm like, how did you even survive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're from the 60s or 70s era and you're still here, I mean, I'm
bravo.
clapping. Bravo.
Unless you were just a total square. I always tease my mom because like her favorite band is like the Carpenters and stuff, and I'm like, oh, Mom,
dude.
you were so boring in the '60s.
By the
Come
way,
on,
I have to show you
70s.
something. Since you're a drummer, you're gonna love this. First off, my dad's favorite singer of all time is Karen Carpenter. When I grew up, there were only 2 female drummers that I could draw influence from, and one was Sheila E.
I was gonna say Sheila E.
I met her last year. And the other was Karen Carpenter, which a lot of people didn't know she was a drummer.
Yeah.
But she studied under Hal
My
Blaine.
mom reminds me all the time that Karen Carpenter was a drummer.
All right, so I got chose for this book. This is me on the cover, and this is me and all my idols here, and it's called Women Drummers, A History from Rock to Jazz to Blues to Country. You can get it on Amazon.com right now.
They used you for the cover?
Yes.
Hell
I
yeah.
did. Girl. Girlfriend. Sorry, dude. No, what I was going to say is I did not know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
They asked me to be a part of it.
Right.
I filled out like 20 questions and I sent in a bio photo.
Right.
And I follow Sheila E. and I follow Cindy Blackman Santana online. And so I saw them post. First off, I saw Cindy Blackman Santana say that she was in a female drummer book that was going to come out in February.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, mine's coming out in February. That's
Right.
weird. And I was like, surely it's not the same book. There's no way.
Right,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because she's an idol of mine. And I don't know how that would ever happen. I'm
Right.
just a small Kentucky girl, from a town of 2,800 people.
You've been in it for a long time.
I have, and full time too.
Yeah.
I've been full time drummer, making my living off of nothing but music for the past 12, 13 years now.
Right.
And so then I saw Sheila E. post this, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's me on the cover!"
Fuck, I'm on the cover,
Dude. Yes, and I got up, and I swear to God, I ran like 50 loops around my house at the time. I was like,
Right.
I
You're
was
like,
like
"Is this a
crazy.
prank?"
No, it was like crazy energy. So I contacted Angela Smith, who wrote this book, and I was like, dude, you used me for the cover. And she was like, we thought it had the best energy of all the pictures. This book you will love because it documents not only Viola Smith, who is 106 this year and still
I
playing.
feel like I've seen videos of her.
You have.
Yeah.
She drummed for Frank Sinatra, and
Okay,
she's
yeah,
also
I've seen
got
her.
these amazing YouTube videos out there.
Yeah.
It documents her, but it also goes back to prehistoric times. And it tells the story of women drummers from prehistoric times till current. So everybody...
Wait, how do they know?
Huh?
How do they know?
Well, you'll go through all the
okay.
the history and the documentation. They have physical documentation of a lot of this stuff.
Oh, wow.
But the church banned women from drumming in the Dark Ages, and then from that point on, it was considered a masculine instrument. But they picked 50 female drummers, and I'm one of the 50. And
Nice.
Meg White's in here, as well as
that's
Karen
awesome.
Carpenter, as well
That's
as all my idols, Sheila E.
so cool.
So last year, Triangle Talent hit me up, and they said, "You're in a book with Sheila E. I'm sure you've met her, right?" And I said, "No."
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, meet us down at the Chow Wagon. We're going to have a golf cart come pick you up." The lady's name was Pam Yates Pribble. She's on
Yeah.
my Facebook, and she booked for Triangle Talent, books for the Kentucky
Yeah.
State Fair and the Chow Wagons. And she said, "Bring a friend." So I took my friend Sue.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, you want to go meet Sheila?" And she was like, "No way." And I was like, "No, we're going to meet Sheila." So we show up. They come pick us up in the golf cart, and boom, we go backstage, and I get to talk to her. She autographed my
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, it was like a dream come true. You know what I mean? It was like, holy crap, I'm standing next to Sheila E.
Right. Yeah. That's
who I
that'd
grew
be like,
up watching play with Prince when I was, I remember,
Right.
Glamorous Life and all that stuff.
Wasn't she on a late night show too for a while?
She probably
Or
was.
am I thinking of the
I
other
bet you're
ladies
thinking
you
of Vicki
played with?
Randall. Yeah, Vicki Randall played the conga, and she had this big,
Okay,
huge fro.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
she
thinking
said
because she
front-
was the band leader, right?
Well,
Or,
her
like,
and-
they
she
talked a
kinda
lot.
was. She was up front for sure. Kevin Cummings, I think it was his name, was the leader.
Oh,
Of,
the guitar player.
yeah, Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Vicky's on my Facebook still this day, and she'll send me like little
that's
things.
awesome.
Very nice. In fact, I'm trying to get her on the show. She is in an all-female like punk band,
Yeah.
like metal punk band out in San Francisco called Skip the Needle, and they are all badasses. I've played with every
Okay.
single one of them.
I saw whatever Jada Smith's metal band.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes.
What? I share a
Jada
birthday
Pinkett
with her.
Smith. So
I think she's super hot.
her band opened up for Seven Dust at Jillian's.
What?
Back in the day.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Will
Yes.
Smith's wife.
Yes, and he was there.
Willow
too.
Smith's
I'm
mom?
almost positive he was there too, because I got there a little bit late. I got there like midway through their set.
Yeah.
But somebody was saying that they saw him like off in the wings,
Yeah.
like watching or whatever. But yeah, we saw them. I think it was like some terrible band name like Twisted Sorrow or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
very emo metal. But the band was really good, but
lots of guy-liner.
It seemed very unnatural for her to sing, like, you know, and keep in mind too, it's a Seven Dust crowd, so like they're there to like slam.
Oh yeah,
and
that seems
LaJauwn
very
Witherspoon's
weird to me.
voice is just so powerful that like anybody opening up for them is just gonna have a struggle anyway, as far as like the comparison. But like I feel like the crowd was just a little bit harder than what they were geared for.
Yeah,
they seemed much more geared towards like an Evanescence kind of crowd.
Yeah.
You know, and it did not go over great.
Yeah. By the way, Evanescence they have a new record coming out, and
they're still together.
Yeah, and I did a record with a Juilliard vocal grad in opera. I produced it. It's called Welcome to the Queendom, Femtronica. It was just the two of us. I did it while I was in LA. I produced it, and she's Amy Lee's vocal coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Amy Lee also has a lot of connection to Louisville. You know,
Really?
they did the video here with Seether and all that stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know
There's
that.
a lot of connection. You know,
Man, I used to jam that song when that first came out.
me too. Yeah. I
Now
actually
I'm
love
like,
her
oh.
voice.
Yeah, no, it's
She's very operatic, and you can
it's-
tell.
Well, it's kind of like LaJauwn Witherspoon from Seven Dust. It's very operatic, but it's still got that aggression to it that keeps it more metal.
Hey, by the way, my boss just messaged me, Skinny J, who you met earlier today, and he said he is saying he is absolutely right about that Jillian show. Wait, let me read. What he
Oh,
said.
was he there?
He said LRS was there that night, and he met Will Smith.
Oh,
way to
see?
go!
That's what I get for being late.
Dude, that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
No kidding. Well,
was
cool. Thank
wild.
you for that, Jim.
Thanks.
Skinny J. Yeah. That's wild. I'm like, how did I miss?
See,
Now,
I don't have to say allegedly now.
No, you don't. And I have. There's a lot of Louisville is cool for that. First
Right.
off, I was at the Connection the night that Lady Gaga showed up and did
Oh,
the.
yeah, because she just showed up like after a concert or something,
Well,
right?
correct. It was the first time she was here because I saw her the last time she was here. I did not see her the first time she was in Louisville, but I went to
Okay.
the Connection that night. Vanessa De Mornay is a great friend of mine, the drag queen who impersonates her.
Yeah.
So it was Vanessa De Mornay came out on the stage, and then here comes Gaga dressed just like her
Oh,
behind
shut
her.
up.
Yeah, and I mean,
Did she know?
no,
Or was it a
well,
surprise?
yeah, she knew it was
Oh, okay.
planned out, but
Man,
nobody in the crowd knew.
That would have been so much better if
It
she
was
didn't know, 'cause she just
crazy.
freaked out.
I got the best photos, and that was back before Facebook because
Right.
I had a blog at that time on like Zanga or LiveJournal or
Yeah.
something, and I remember it's posted out there somewhere.
How long's Gaga been around?
Oh, a long time.
Facebook was around in 2007.
Right, but she was here before Facebook was around. I know for a fact because
Gotcha.
I remember posting it, and I had to post it as a blog post. It was
Facebook
like
for-
during the MySpace years.
For the first couple of years, Facebook was open. It was only
College.
open to you
Right.
had to have a .edu. I've been in it since 2007, and
Okay.
you had to have a .edu.
Yeah, I was not a
email address.
.edu at that time.
and we all hated it when they
Yeah.
took that stipulation away. Because then like your parents are on there and
Yeah.
ads and everything else.
My
and you're
parents
just
are like, what? They don't even know what
"Man."
it is. They're like, what's Google? My dad just figured out YouTube like last year.
My mom messages, like, she'll comment on my pictures on Facebook, like she's like messaging me.
Yeah.
Like,
By the way, though,
I'll,
I was
I'll,
gonna tell you
answer her
this.
questions in private.
I love that. I was going to tell you this, though. Louisville is really cool because a lot of these stars, after their shows, they'll just go out on the town. And one night I was completely plastered walking up Bardstown Road. I went to Zaz, and I remember, like, I was so drunk.
Yeah.
My head was on the table, and I was eating pizza underneath the table. I
Oh
could
my
not raise my head up. Yeah, and my friends were like, "You need to go home," and I was like, "I'm going to call a Lyft." Well, I didn't call a Lyft. I
Right.
walked up to Big Bar instead.
Oh, God.
And I go up there, and all of a sudden, in walks Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen because
Oh.
they had just done their show, and
right.
I got all this video footage. And the next day, they're like, "You were supposed to go home. How did you meet Anderson?" I was like, "I don't know, right place,
right.
right time." But Janet Jackson was the same way. She also
Yeah.
came out in the Highlands one night and jammed after her show. You know, I love
She's
Louisville
actually
for
an
that
artist
reason.
that I'd like to cover. We don't do any Janet
Oh,
Jackson
you should.
songs.
Now
I'd
that's
love
all
to do that.
electric. I've
I
covered
know.
Rhythm
Well,
Nation from top to back and had to learn the whole dance and everything
We
with the
do
group.
some Michael. We do a lot of rap and hip hop. Like,
bet.
we do Pony. That's actually the
I
only.
love that
that's
one.
the only one we use a track on, just because it's hard to mimic that.
Yeah.
It's like what?
I do Pony myself.
Yeah.
When I do a whole 80s hip hop
Nice.
thing, which I do Humpty Dance into Pony. I do Salt and Pepper into some Biggie and Notorious
Right.
B.I.G. and some
See, now
Run
we'll
DMC.
do Humpty Dance,
Yeah.
and then immediately follow it with Any Man of Mine.
I love that. I wish Shania Twain.
Yeah,
I love that.
we do a thing.
That's why I love y'all.
It's so silly. We just do it. It's almost for ourselves, but for our own humor. But we do. We voted in "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one too.
But we started playing it and realized, like, once we're playing it, we're like, man, this song is really boring after a minute. So we cut it after the first chorus. We just stop and go straight into "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
Perfect.
So, like, you get all the hyped crowd for, like, Eminem, and that is a totally different crowd than Miley Cyrus. So they get all hyped, and then you hit them with that, and, like, you just get these crazy different crowd reactions.
Did you just see, and we're going to wrap it up, but did you see that Eminem he's out there blasting the United States government because they've tapped his phones for... what was it? Shoot.
Well,
I just
all our
read
phones
it.
are tapped.
Well, right, exactly. But I was like, if they ain't come after me for drug talk by now, they ain't gonna come after me.
Oh, right.
But no, he got in trouble for blasting Trump for some lyrics, and
in his diss track,
the CIA came after him.
Honestly, I'm happy that they came after him only because Eminem is a lyrical genius.
Yes.
And that diss track was a flop.
Was it really? I haven't heard it.
It was just really boring. Like everybody was like, oh, but he's emoting well. He's just expressing how he feels. And I'm like, yeah, but he's Eminem.
Right.
Like, I could have come up with that cipher. Like, it didn't have a good flow. It wasn't like,
it was the one where he's in the black and he's like, in
he's just like pissed off in a parking garage.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that all freestyle, though?
It was all freestyle, but still. You're Eminem.
Still, though, he can freestyle better than half of us could half-ass rap.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like, man, if you're going to do it, me and Brad, the old bass player for the band, who's like my best friend, we used to get in arguments about it because he's like, yeah, but it's about what he's saying. I'm like, yeah, but it's Eminem. He can figure out different, better ways to say the exact same thing, but still have a cool flow.
What kills me, though, is, and I use him as a reference often about how literally you can say anything in music and it's okay.
Yeah,
like,
it's art.
Because Bob Marley shot a sheriff, Johnny Cash shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Fuck the Police by
I used to wear the t-shirt, you know what I mean? And, I loved anything that was rowdy lyrically. Yeah. And, I mean, what country song hasn't killed off somebody,
If somebody doesn't die.
cusses his mom out and kills her off,
As soon as we have cars that have AI in the computer, the truck's going to leave the guy, too.
Right, exactly.
All right, before
Josh,
we run out of time.
do it, because we're running out of time. What
I've got a whole stack of ones here, so I think we just... For
Let's
the people
who
don't want to hear cuss words,
turn it off
right now.
That's
now.
Right.
We're doing this for charity. We're just going to say every cuss word we know.
Okay.
All right, we'll just alternate.
Most of mine are fuck. fuck.
All right, let's see.
I'm just going to keep dinging it.
Cock,
shit,
titties,
damn it, motherfucker. Cocksucker.
Bubble nuts.
Damn it. I don't know. Bubble nuts.
I don't know. It sounds like a cuss word.
We're donating tons of money to charity. He's got literally a ton of money.
Damn. Titties, pussy. Oh, the one that everybody hates.
What's that? Cunt. I knew it. I knew it. Moist. They all hate moist, too. It's not even a cuss word.
I actually don't mind moist. That's a great way to describe a muffin. Come on. You guys are ruining this. How else am I going to describe a muffin?
Oh, my God. You were rowdy. I love that. You're just like, let's just keep cussing.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to end this show cussing. Thank you, Josh Howe, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
We just donated like 50 to 100 bucks in money to the charity. It's going in the swear jar.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on. Come
Thanks
back anytime.
Yeah,
Everybody follow the Juice Box Heroes.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
And Twisted Scenic.
Yes, and tune in
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah, tune in next week. I've got Walter Lay on the show. He makes custom guitars. He's been around forever. I've got all kinds of really cool people on the show coming up. So I want you to tune back in 2 to 4 Monday through Friday. And as always, keep it groovy, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.